Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our D-list stream this week. If you haven't guessed already or haven't read the title, we watched the movie Cats this week. Cats 2019. The famous, infamous Cats. So we'll get the stream going here in just a second. Get this show on the road. Oh, I still have Ryan talking about just a few kittens playing around, which is exactly what we were doing.
All right.
Hello and welcome to this week's Date Night D-List. We watched Cats 2019. And if you're watching the video of this, you may have guessed that already. But everybody who's alive here right now, thanks for tuning in. For anybody listening to the audio of this, we always stream this on Thursdays at around 8:45, 9 p.m. We'll let you know on the dates. But we're ready to get this show on the road here. So for anybody who doesn't know, I love to start the show off with the IMDb description of these movies. For whatever reason, it's always the best. But before I tell you what Cats is about, let me introduce myself. I'm Ben.
I'm Em.
And with
Ken.
us, the most important part of this tricycle, the front wheel to our back wheels, Ken Brooks.
The two back wheels to the one front wheel.
There you go.
This feels like the most important movie we've ever talked about on any
Without a
D-list
doubt.
or otherwise. I have stage anxiety right now.
Mm-hmm.
This feels important.
Right? Like we're on a mission.
Yeah, there are things that need to be said. Also, I'm very hot because this whole outfit is my winter running gear and a poofy hood. I'm hot.
You didn't go
It's,
with
like,
the
tight
old
on you.
Deuteronomy jacket, and
Ken will be old
Yeah.
Deuteronomy.
yeah, this is gonna have to go pretty soon. I'm also
old
going to be very
Trench
hot.
coat.
Well, we'll get to this, but I love this has nothing to do with the movie. This has a lot to do with the musical. I love the names of the cats.
We'll get
They're
yeah.
bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna start.
Don't worry. They
All
are
right.
very bizarre. You're gonna have to help me with some. For a lot, I'm like old D because
I
I like
think-
forgot
yeah.
how to pronounce half of
Yeah.
it.
How do we start on this movie? You want to run through
Here's
it
how
quick?
we start. A
Yeah, we
tribe of cats called the Jellicles must decide yearly which one will ascend to the Heaviside layer and come back to a new Jellicle life.
A new
That
Jellicle
is
life.
the-
That's a very bad.
That is a direct quote from the IMDb description of this movie.
As if the plot of this movie matters one bit.
yeah,
This
it really
is
doesn't.
well, it's first and foremost it's a musical, right?
Yes.
Well,
It's-
yes.
and it's all in. There's nothing here but songs.
There's probably like 5 regular words total, and then
Right.
just songs.
But I have to hold restraint because I was ready to roast this thing, and I'm like, what's this costumes? What costumes?
What are you talking about? It's what I always stream in.
I realize I don't think I've ever watched a movie musical. Like I've never seen.
Well, I was gonna ask who has seen like an in-person musical.
What-
I haven't
there's-
either.
Oh,
There's
okay.
so many angles to this, right? And I think we should cover the
We'll
movie
go
Yeah.
the
as
movie
a
first
Let me
and
shut
then
up.
do it.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah.
think you need to. No, you're bringing up very, very good points.
We'll get to that though, so don't worry.
In that, and I do think it all deserves to be covered. So I think we'll address the movie as a movie, but there's also the movie as a musical movie. The movie is compared to the actual musical Cats, which I have not seen.
I haven't seen Cats, but I've seen musicals, like
Yeah.
on Broadway.
I had
ones.
never seen Cats before. I'm much more curious to see Cats now.
Are you a curious cat?
I watched
The
a
rum-tum
third.
tugger.
I watched a 30-minute rundown of Cats the musical today because I felt I had to. I don't know. I felt
Yeah.
compelled to like, is this bad? I don't know
Well,
if this
okay.
is bad.
Well, I feel like the more we listen to it, well, we'll talk about this at the end.
Yeah, we'll
sorry.
get there.
But up front, we'll all say we none of us have seen Cats the musical.
No.
Yeah.
We had
Yes.
no idea of anything about Cats before we watched the
Yeah,
movie.
that's true.
We may
Correct.
know a lot more about Cats now.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
Was it-
so
Was it the 90s? I felt like I've seen
yeah, like
commercials
in the 90s.
for Cats.
Well,
in
it
the
was
90s,
just-
there'd be commercials for it, like
it
nonstop.
was just like it was worldwide. You
Right. I
couldn't get
think
away
it was
from
the
it.
first big Broadway mega hit, worldwide
Okay.
mega, like
It was like-
made millions of dollars worldwide sort of mega.
I mean,
hit.
it's
That makes
even like
sense.
in, you know,
Okay.
like the show Friends, they talk about like that kind of thing. Like it would be on TV shows in the
I wish
90s and
this
you're watching
jacket
them.
fit, and it wasn't like
Right.
Is it a
6-year-olds.
But-
Well, this is just something from
Oh,
another
okay.
jacket. This is some sort of petite person's.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a blanket. I was like, wow, that's quite the.
Deuteronomy.
Here we go. Ryan has watched
Um,
Rent a lot of times. That's his
Oof.
music.
Whoa.
I
experience.
would
That's all
not
he's got.
recommend Runt. That could be on the deal list.
Well,
Tell
what?
him that.
Interestingly, we're really stalling here. The guy who made this did Les Mis, which
Yeah,
I
Ben's got notes
that
on
comes
Okay.
into play.
Okay, I won't talk
That's
about
a
that.
very important point. But yes,
Right.
this is his follow up to Les Mis.
To Les Mis.
He
Which
is-
actually wanted Hugh Jackman,
Jackman,
and what's her name?
This too.
Is it Anne
One-
Hathaway?
Anne
Yeah,
Hathaway,
Anne
who won the
Hathaway.
Okay.
Oscar. Right. He wanted her
And
back,
they
and they were
didn't
like,
do it.
"Mm-mm."
Yeah,
And
good
we'll
on
get into
them.
why.
Good. On
So-
I know why.
This
Smart
movie
choice.
lost. This movie lost 114 million for the studio,
That
which
seems.
I can understand though. I mean,
That doesn't seem
Also-
like that much, though. I don't know.
I don't think it had a huge budget, but
I
also,
can't touch my face.
like one reviewer, like an actual like newspaper, someone important gave it 0 stars in his review.
Ooh,
That's
Like-
that's not fair.
No,
That's
there
not
were
fair.
so many bad reviews. But then the other thing that I looked up too was so they did the premiere, and then everyone complained the CG was so bad that they like redid
Right,
it,
it got
before
pulled.
it came out. Yeah.
It got pulled, and they
so
did
this
a
is
whole
like
bunch of stuff.
updated CG, which I'm still a little sad about.
I want to see the original CG. It's probably better.
The butthole cut, right? With
Maybe it was the butthole. They had to just CG over all the
that
buttholes.
was the only thing they changed. That was the
They were like, please
unacceptable
Wow.
stop
That
having the
was the-
buttholes.
yeah.
I don't know. Let's get this show on the road. Like,
Okay. So I mean, it's all songs, but I'll go
Just
through
run
the
through it.
settings of the songs.
that's the beat. That's the
essentially.
beats of the movie. Is the song each song.
I'll
So
do
it
my best
starts
to
out-
shut up. Yeah.
In a city, a car drives up, stops, throws a pillowcase, which obviously there's a cat in the pillowcase,
Mm-hmm.
out on the road. There's a bunch of creepy cats coming around checking it out and everything. And then out pops Victoria, who's this like pretty little white cat. And then everyone sings to her in a creepy song about jellicle cats.
Well,
Do
wait.
you know?
I gotta stop you already.
But that's
you-
how it starts.
That is how it starts. But you,
You have-
missed
What?
the most nightmarish, spooky jingle that this movie.
Oh, well, yes. It is very
And it's only 30
synthesized. You're like,
seconds.
ding, ding,
It's
ding,
like-
yeah.
Like if you had a hot fever dream
It's
of
true.
a song, and it honest to God stressed me out.
Yes.
And then it goes right into the next song.
That reminds
Anyway.
me though of like any musical you see, like the intermission and when they're like it's black and they're changing scenes. That kind of music is
Whoa.
in like every musical
It's
I've ever seen.
creepy.
That's true.
It's that style where you're like, ooh, I know what they're doing some stuff back there, and it's like a synthesizer, like
Well,
going crazy.
I feel like this movie does a terrible job of introducing itself.
Oh,
They're
no.
all
Yes.
they're on all
Yes.
fours. They're crawling around.
Yes.
They're like circling the new.
They're being all creepy in the
it's
trash.
Just they're very cat-like in the beginning.
Well,
but
and
they
I-
don't look. I don't know.
One of the reasons I went and I looked at like hey, what's the play actually like? I was like, does it start how this movie starts? Because the way this movie starts is aggressive, off-putting, uncomfortable, and like, what the like.
It's also like
what
you
is
should already
happening?
be halfway through a movie. Like you should
Yes.
know what's going on.
But that's exactly
And I
how the
don't.
play starts. The play opens the exact same way.
The big
Minus,
difference here. Go ahead,
white
Ken.
cat. There's no white cat in the play, except
Yeah.
for a few scenes.
A few
Right.
She's
scenes,
the
but not like the
audience.
main character.
Here, she's the audience.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I was gonna say because the I think the musical is very like fourth wall breaking. All the
Yes.
cat numbers are them telling the audience about the different
cats. Yeah,
And when it's a movie, you can't like sing to the
sure you can. They
screen.
do it at the end. What's her name?
Well,
Yeah,
That's-
that's true.
Old Deuteronomy sings into
She's
your
like
face.
directly
She
looking
looks
at
in the
you.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think that they took the Victoria character, which does exist in the musical, but it just does like a dance number,
Yeah, she's,
and they made
she's
her
not
like the
throughout the whole
audience
thing.
character.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, should we up front? Obviously, spoilers. Second, Do we
Oh,
want
I
to
forgot to say
say
that.
yeah.
Spoilers.
spoilers?
This whole thing's
Always.
a spoiler.
Second, do we want to say, like, should you watch this?
I say at the end we
is that
say.
the format? All right. Let's just, well, if you have any curiosity, I guess go watch it. But
Yeah.
we're here
Overall,
to.
I would say no. I'd say go see the musical. But we can at the.
Well, yeah,
I mean-
of course. Yeah, that's fair.
But in this, they sing about jellicle cats. In which case, I'm going, what the fuck
What
is a
the fuck?
jellicle cat? What are
Yeah.
you even saying?
Well, Jellicle stands for Jellicle Cat. They say that directly
Right.
in the song.
Okay. Here's my first sentence. Like,
Yep.
you cannot define a word using the word,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Apparently, you can.
There's
Jellicle
a
stands for
6-minute opening about, like, well, you know, Jellicle cats.
come out to
do what
play. And you're
jellicles
like,
do.
what are you talking about?
Jellicles do it. Jellicle cats. Jellicle stands for Jellicle cats. Like that's the line in the
And
song.
That's the
it's just
whole
like
thing.
jellicle,
Just
jellicle,
over
jell.
and
Like you
over,
just hear
over,
over
over.
and over and over and over
And
and over.
I feel like we're already rushing into it because if you feel lost, that's how you feel
That's how you
watching
feel.
this.
Starts.
Like it's just, hey, what's up? Here's a bunch
they
of
start
Jellicle
right
cats.
into the song.
Nobody knows what that word means. They don't explain it.
No,
Jellicle
never.
cats
Are
meet
Jell-
one night a year to go to the Jellicle Ball,
Thank
where old man Deuteronomy must make the Jellicle choice,
you.
and they get to go to the Heaviside lair.
And be a new jellicle.
Right. They get
Reborn
they
again
get
as a Jellicle.
reborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck does that even mean?
So they kind of
Doesn't
like
matter.
whip that in there quick, and you're like, I'm sorry, what? And then they just kind of move
very-
on real quick.
Well, there's so much to unpack in this first
There's a
scene.
lot.
Because you had this spooky song in the intro. You
Mhm.
have no clue what a Jellicle is, and they're saying it every 3 seconds, like over and over, and like you
To the
feel like
point
an
that
idiot,
you're, yeah,
and then you're grappling with this frightening CGI people
yeah, they're
who are
doing
like,
twists and turns. That's creepy. It's actually not
mostly-
spelled like that, Ryan.
it's. I got a theory. So this was clearly written by a person who like loves cats. Andrew Lloyd Webber, like I'm assuming he's
Well, the
dead.
Jellicle
Speaking
cats.
of cats, look at this.
The Jellicle
had-
cats though comes from a T.S. Eliot poetry book.
Right, it's all based off of that.
So it's all based off of that. So, but once again, I looked up the definition. It was like a fictional type of feline. I'm like,
I-
you're still not defining it for me.
They never
Right.
will. That's the
Right.
point.
The
I
point
think
is they're
it's-
jellicles.
I think I think it's from Angelical. I think they just chopped off
Maybe?
the front, and this is a cat
Uh,
love. This is a movie about cats for people who like cats and cats who like cats. Angelical shit, right?
It's just for cats.
It
loving
probably
cats.
is.
It pretty much is a movie for cats.
It's for.
But
It's
it- but
for.
like-
It's a
It's-
movie for cats.
Might be.
Get your
You
cat on
would
the couch.
understand it. I mean,
It's the song and the CGI and everything is so weird. They're like naked, but they're not naked.
oh, we will get into
The cat
this.
design is
It's
catastrophic.
bizarre.
It's human body. If I just had a fur leotard.
If you were just hairy, if you just had
But-
buzzed
Yeah,
hair,
but it's not like they made it so the arms aren't like you can see like muscles.
they're
and where
very
someone's like
muscular.
It's
Everybody's
stomach and,
very
like, it's-
muscular.
it's to the point where you're like this is real weird. Or like it's people legs. Also, it's people hands and feet.
yeah, it
hate
is
that.
people hands.
Like legit
I
people.
was watching
hands.
it, and
Hate
my
it.
6-year-old came down. He's like, "Why do they have people hands?"
yeah,
like, I
you
don't
tell
know, dude.
me. Like,
Weird. And then he was like, "I don't want
And
to watch
it's-
this anymore."
it's like
I was
a-
like, me either.
they have whiskers, but they have a person face.
It's
they
a-
don't have like a
Right?
cat nose.
They don't. There's no.
They don't
cat-
have like this.
There's not even this.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
no, it's
no.
not that.
It's
a
like legit
person's
normal face. It's like
but-
this is the most they
But
have.
it's
is
also
what I
been
have on.
painted. It's been painted whatever their fur is.
Yeah.
So if you're a white cat,
It's
you're
like
just white human
Honestly,
face.
I hate it.
What if they had just worn costumes?
Right?
I would've
think
liked
it
it
would have
so
looked
much
100 times
better.
better.
This movie would not have flopped as bad if they just, and it would have cost a lot less money.
Yeah,
if
they just
CG
would've
in
worn
every body
costumes.
part
I
of
think
like it's
the-
so
Did very bizarre.
Best costumes in this are the cats who have like the coat on, or and it's silly that they would ever wear human clothes.
well
but
that
it's
too. Some
way
of them have like
less
sneakers
distracting.
on, which I'm like,
Well, yeah, let's not get
Only
into
at
the
night when the
hip hop
Jellicles come
duo
out.
Okay.
of cats.
okay. So at the end of the Jellicle song,
Ah,
near
God.
the end, a creepy cat in a trench coat You want to show
Trying
him
to think.
McCavity?
McCavity.
He shows up and everyone runs
Cavity,
away.
What's up?
Did you guys
Um,
notice how much shaky cam is in the beginning of this?
I guess
It made
Yes,
me
I
sick.
did, especially
It
when she
made me
runs up to the
sick.
Oh,
gate.
I forgot to show that this guy kind of
Who
he's
is
kind of
this?
narrates it in a way
What?
throughout
Uncle
it.
Strap?
Yeah, you're right. Monka
Also, I don't know
Emily
the actor.
hates how this looks.
He looks
It looks like
an-
trash.
It looks horrible. But
And I
hate
think he's
this
in the
guy's
play,
face
isn't he?
Is so not made for pretending to be a cat. It looks like some guy who would normally wear a suit to work, and
Right,
then
he
somebody
looks-
put a cat. It's
Yeah.
like it doesn't
Average
work.
white man. Well, a cat's head
Yes.
is like a diamond, right? And they went with like football. Like even the prosthetic hair looks better because
It
you
looks
get that
way
big
better.
This is fun
wide
and
cat
goofy.
head.
Right?
Yeah.
This is like a joke.
But this in the musical too. You're seeing this from 100 feet away,
Right.
right? So it's like they're pretending
Right,
to
you're
be
Get it.
cats.
way back here.
I don't need a close up.
This is this big in front of your face,
I hate it.
and it's
so
weird.
much.
And that guy does good for the most part throughout the movie. Like he does whatever
I
they
mean,
asked him to do.
Yeah, I just
It could be Beetlejuice.
I just
Beetlejuice
hate
looked
this.
better.
Yeah.
Is that Beetlejuice?
No, go to
Maybe.
McCavity though.
Yeah, so
Okay, how do I get
So
to
he's like the
McCavity?
bad guy. Everybody runs
whoa,
away.
look at
Okay.
that stage makeup.
So the stage one is
This
oh
really
god,
epic.
Idris Elba.
Okay. So normally McCavity
No
has
wonder
the
he was
hat
in
and the
that
trench
jacket
coat.
the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, the
That
best
makes
is
sense.
when I searched for it, that one came up as nude McCavity. When he like and wait,
Why?
zoom in on that one though.
On
You can
this?
see his like you
Oh,
can see
he's
muscles
naked.
and this and that where
You
I'm
can
like
see like his ribs and
Yes.
and
if
there's nothing
the
wrong
cat
with that,
bod-
but it's
no,
like
but the
doesn't look
cat
like a
body
cat.
shouldn't
Looks like a
be
naked
like-
man.
Yes, exactly.
Looks like
Literally in the song about McCavity,
I hate it.
they say he's a ginger
Yes,
cat.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is he brown?
I don't know.
Well, I
They made him into like a panther scenario instead of
there's a weird thing because Taylor Swift sings his song about him
yeah.
and she's a ginger cat. And I think in the play,
Right.
So they were
he
trying to,
sings his
like-
own song. And
Okay.
I'm assuming Idris Elba
Like-
can't sing. So they're like, well, let's just get somebody to
Right.
Yeah.
do
They didn't
his
even
number
try
for
that.
him,
I
which I
mean, it
guess
works.
makes sense. But
Well, there's a lot of changes though. I think in the musical, there's like singers and dancers, and so
yeah,
like
probably.
Mhm.
Mr.
Yeah,
Mistopheles, the person who plays him in the play is a dancer, and somebody else sings his song.
While he
Yeah.
dances and
While
shows
he
off.
dances, there's a lot, but in this, a lot of people had to do both.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Just,
it was like,
it's a lot to ask.
but they were
it doesn't-
dancing and singing at the same time, and it's recorded live on the set. We'll get into that later, but don't do that.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
so-
I keep interrupting. Go ahead.
No, you're good. McCavity shows up naked. No,
Oh my
he's
God.
not naked,
Naked
yet.
McCavity shows
no,
up.
he has a
No,
trench
this
coat
is
at
that's
this
the
point.
finale. You get to see naked Idris Elba as the finale. That is
But he
the
shows up
actual
and
payoff of this movie.
Everyone runs away. They're all scared, and then like they
What
grab
happens?
Victoria again, and they go over into a cemetery.
That's
And they
right.
ask her what her name is, and she's like, "My name's Victoria." And they're like, bitch, you have 3 names." And she's like,
Nah.
"I'm sorry, what are you talking
Nah,
about?"
you got
Nah.
3 names.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they sing her into a song. We go.
This song
the
is really
naming
like
of cats, and they're like creeping
they're
around a cemetery by the
chanting,
moon.
Kind of.
Yeah.
This is a. I
It's
don't
a
like this
weird-
song.
Also, I thought then she was gonna like make up her own name because they're like, you have the name
Right.
people
It doesn't.
call
Right.
you.
It doesn't go anywhere.
And she
It's
kept
just,
doing this, like she was gonna like come
I
up
thought
with
she
a
was
name,
gonna get a name.
and then she just like danced her way back down and did nothing. And I'm like, so we're just gonna call you Victoria? Like I didn't quite understand.
Yeah, like
at
she was
all.
supposed to get like a name like the Rum Tum Tugger. Like
Yeah. What are the?
I don't know.
The first name is your house's name. So in my case, Brooks, and then it's
I don't
second
know.
name
your
is
second
what
name
your
is like what
is
the
the name that the
people
like
people
call you.
Victoria.
Yeah,
right?
Victoria.
And then the third
then you've
was
got-
I don't remember.
is your Jellicle name, I think.
Oh,
Which is
God.
that what like Rum Tum Tugger is?
Yeah.
Is
or
that
like
okay?
like okay.
What's his name?
Or
Oh,
like
we'll get to it.
we have like Jenny Anydot.
Mistopheles. You've got Rumple Dumps.
Stillskin.
I
get
hate
there.
the names because it's like, can you just fucking? I can't.
I love the names.
There's
They're
too
so
much to-
bizarre. They're so crazy.
The
I would
graveyard
not-
scene though. between lighting and like
Oh,
props,
and they're like
gets
creeping around.
this again, the CGI somehow looks worse. The size of the cats feels inconsistent.
Oh, I hate the
Sometimes,
size
right?
compared
Like
to things.
sometimes they're next to a fence and they're almost as tall as the fence.
But sometimes they're like way too tiny,
They're like
which
way
I'm like,
tiny.
cats aren't that tiny. Like they're
But
not.
then
Right.
sometimes they're too big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
And like this movie starts off so bad. It starts
It's
so
way too
these
aggressive.
all the musical
Just
numbers in
bang,
the
bang,
beginning
bang,
are
bang.
weird and like all the CG
Like,
is like
this has
very
been
hard to
probably a
adjust to.
good-
There's tons of uncanny
It's only
valley.
been 15 minutes. It's 3
but
songs, 5
there's
minutes
been no
apiece.
words so far. It's
No,
just been music,
all
which you're
song.
like, we just have like run into another
You're just
song immediately.
rolling into shit.
Just keep
and
rolling.
like and
I
you can't-
normally would be fine with that. I like musicals.
well, and it's
Yeah, but
maybe this is good as a musical because I assumed it's mixed better. Here it's hard to hear stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that too.
There's
Oh
a
my
lot of and
gosh.
because the whole point of a musical, they're telling you everything. Very little is shown.
I could not understand
Right.
80%.
It's the opposite of a movie. A movie should be show don't tell. This is all tell. This is sing,
Yeah.
sing, 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 and you
Couldn't
can't hear what they're
understand.
Can't hear
saying. in a
anything
lot
they're
of it.
saying.
Yeah,
And they're like
Yeah, that's why I had no clue what was going
Oh,
on because they're
man.
trying to explain things, and you're like, when there's 30 cats singing at once, I don't
you
know
can't
what
hear
you're saying.
anybody.
Ah,
Yeah.
ah, 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 ah. Like, what are you saying at that point?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hated that.
a curious cat. I have a whole essay on this.
Yeah, don't-
Like we
Yeah.
will get into this, the depths of this.
I don't remember quite in between, but then they show her Victoria,
go?
a
Yeah.
fat cat, Jenny Anydots.
Well, this is
Any dots.
before you meet
So-
her. He does say whatever his
Does
name
he
is,
s-
Robbie. Because I watched the first 30 minutes again this morning.
Okay.
Because I literally it was sensory overload the first time I watched the movie. Me and Megan turned it off, and then I came back the next day and watched it because it was incoherent babble. Came
Yeah,
back
it
and
is
watched
for
it
the
this
first
morning.
20 minutes.
They do mention at least twice, and then after the graveyard, Robbie or what's his name, Rumpelstiltskin,
It's like
Tumble-
starts with an M or
Tumble
something.
Dick?
It is Monkastrap.
Monkastrap says to her in one of like maybe 6 lines in the whole speaking movie, the Jellicle Ball, everybody goes and they do a number, and then the Jellicle Queen
Mhm.
grants somebody to be reborn. And you're just, it's like 10 seconds.
But it's in between. It's like while they're walking across the street quick,
Yeah.
right? And then they're like
But
next
then-
song.
We
But
don't
then-
even know that it's reborn though. They just say they get to go to the Heaviside Lair. What
Yeah.
the fuck does
no,
that
they
even
say
mean?
they say something like,
They do say reborn,
Reborn
once
is
at
a
the
Jellicle.
beginning.
You're right.
but
but
then
they
they
the
say
zoom.
Heaviside.
Jellicle choice, so I can go to the Heaviside Lair.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be a Jellicle
makes
cat
sense.
to participate in the Jellicle
the-
Ball, to be the
yeah.
Jellicle choice, to be, I don't know.
Head on over to that Heaviside layer.
Well, we'll find out what
Whatever the
happens when
F
you're
that
the
means.
Jellicle choice. But they transition from the cemetery to Jenny Anydots
Yep.
Mhm.
without explaining.
Nope.
And it's 8 words. You could say, "Hey, we're gonna go check out the
Yeah.
Jellicle
One of the
cat."
candidates.
Right.
Yeah,
and all
but
of a sudden
no.
you're just, and then you go to possibly the most
In-
insane
It's
number.
the worst.
God.
It's the worst number in the movie.
It's definitely
by
the worst.
far.
Show her.
By far, this
So,
is the
of
worst
course-
number.
Of
in
course
the
they
movie.
go with the like, oh, she's a fat cat and it's funny, which it's not because it's just like dumb.
And this
the
is
whole
what I
time.
mean is it starts off on a bad foot. Is you're sort of like thrown into this world very quickly. You're sort of really like put off and it's not explained. That's kind of follows along with the musical. That's fine. You're confused and then the first number is the worst one of the
Yeah,
movie.
it's not
Yeah.
Like by far it
And
just
I
is horrible.
Jenny
had
Any
no
Dot.
idea what she was saying or
The
singing in
Gumby
this.
cat.
She
Well, that's the other
was
thing. You
singing
just
something.
you got overloaded with Jellicle bullshit, and it's like, okay, now I got to know what a Gumby cat is.
Yeah, they're
and
talking
they're-
about Gumby cat, and then she's showing like mice that are singing under the sink, and then
Oh, she
cockroaches
raises
singing.
mice and cockroaches.
I don't know,
Was
and then
that what
she's
it was?
singing, but then at some point she like unzips her fur and has
She
an
takes off
outfit
her
on.
skin.
That's weird.
Like,
it's creepy.
It's
Messed
weird.
up.
And the whole time I had no idea what the heck she was singing about. Just some about her being a Gumby cat.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
But
still
it
don't
was
know.
very unclear why we were interested in her at all. The reason
Yeah,
is
and I thought they were making
she's
fun of her
a-
at first, but it was like,
Yeah.
no, she's a performer.
She like sleeps all day, but at night she actually like gets the mice
Gets
and
to work.
cockroaches to like get to work to like
Is that what it
improve
was?
their lives, which are
Yeah,
normally
yeah.
like bad and destructive. Like she's normally like does that's the story of it, but I didn't get any of that from the
No,
movie.
from the movie, I thought it was like she was dumb and fat at home at first.
Yeah, I
and
thought
I
they
was
went
like, are
to
we
her-
making fun of her? Like,
I thought they
wasn't
went
sure.
to her basically to show you what a Jellicle cat is not. Like, hey,
Yes.
this lady wouldn't be in the Jellicle
Right.
ball.
That's what I thought it was. I
Because
thought they were
she's a
like, she
house
sits
cat.
at home
She's
all
a
day and
crappy
she's a
house
loser.
cat.
Yeah,
Right, this isn't a Jellicle cat. Turns out she's one of the
she's
Jellicle
apparently
cats.
one of them.
News to me.
I didn't know.
But this is a perfect example of where the movie goes wrong musically. You have Rebel Wilson, who is like not a stage singer, right? She's like a comedian actor.
yeah,
She's trying to do her best, and she's not doing very good. And she is forced to sing on the recording in the movie is one of the takes of her
You think
on
so?
stage. Oh, this
yeah,
is
that's
how these
they
are
did
made.
It. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Les Mis is the same way.
like they don't pre-record or
They're
anything.
not pre-recorded, and we will.
We'll
this
get
is such a
into it
big thing.
more.
We'll get to it later, but she is being recorded while rolling
Like,
around,
while
doing all this
doing
dumb
everything.
stuff,
Yeah,
and
no
you can
wonder.
tell it sounds like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
In
she-
the
That's not her job normally.
Right.
I'm
Like,
sure she
why-
gave it her best, but it's like, come on, cut her some slack.
Like,
in the stage
know.
show where like the music
Right.
is like front and center, there is a three-person like three like of the side cats are singing the song while
Right.
she's like running
Well,
around
of
dancing.
course, because you
Like,
wouldn't have the person.
You never have somebody dancing and singing at the same time in the stage show, and the movie is full of people jumping around singing, and it sounds like garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's
bad.
weird.
Sorry, this mascara is very heavy. Can't even see it. I
Near
look
the end of
like a
this, then all of a
million
sudden,
bucks.
like another cat comes in the house, and she's like,
What
"Ugh, get
happens?
out of here!" And it is Rum Tum Tugger.
Oh, man.
bitches.
The rum tum.
And he's like, "Whoa, I'm
Is
so
a cute
cool."
youth cat.
He pops in, and
He's
she's like,
like-
"You need to leave the house." And he acts like he like snuck in. Once
is-
again, didn't understand.
Sexy
the
in like the
best-
lamest way I've ever seen.
Ugh,
Like,
like real bad. It was
Like-
not good.
yeah, I agree. You would be because you would be just as confused and you would be just as like lost.
I need
And in
like one more
pain.
drink. Ben, can you like run quick to grab one?
Oh man, you gotta run the show then while I'm gone. You guys gonna talk about Run
That's
Tum
okay.
Tubber without Rum Tum Tugger?
Rum-
I should probably
Rim-
step out of
Well,
here. Now.
I'll just talk about this if you can just get me a little more
Sure. What did you have in there?
rum and coke.
Rum and Coke. Do you make
So-
them strong or not?
Yes.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, I think we've got this might
Don't
be
get
a
crazy,
longer.
But yeah,
Whoa.
that's
might
not
be a
the,
longer
that's
one.
the weak one.
The Rum Tum
Tugger
Tugger
Okay.
is a
curious
cat.
So I will say it's the most catchy song out of all the songs. Because all
Initially.
day today in my head it was rum tug, like it just all day.
I complained about the Jellicle Cat song already to no end. I think I like that one the most,
The
actually.
Jellicle Cat
From the
song?
movie. The one from the
Okay.
play I don't like. The one from the movie is good.
I don't know if I've heard the one from the play yet. So
It's oh no.
What?
What do you say? I just want to apologize for just
for
suggesting this.
suggesting this. No,
I
this
don't
was
hate
actually
this
on the
movie.
list ahead of time.
I don't
too,
hate this
so-
movie. I kind of like this movie in sort of a it's so bad it's good way.
Yeah, it's
This
one
is
of the good ones.
exactly what we're looking for.
Last week, Downsize was just
That was
bad, not even
painful.
fun to
Painful.
yeah. So,
I mean,
but-
look at us. We didn't downsize last
Come on.
week. Yeah.
Rum Tum Tugger comes in. Then he does a performance. They're like on the street. They go into a place that has milk, and he's like turning on all the milk stations, and people are like getting drunk off milk and stuff. I don't know if it's supposed to be like sexy too for that part.
Well,
It
and
was
he's
just strange.
this is the
That's-
first song I think where I was actually paying attention to the words. And he's
I was
singing about
trying
like
to.
he's really it's Jason Derulo. He's really
Yeah.
overselling it. He's overdoing every bit of
I
it.
feel like even he was hard to understand. I was like, I don't know who this cat is,
Oh,
and I
really?
couldn't quite.
No. But like
I mean, it was better than the others, so.
he's got the bulge front and center. He's got the big,
That's
you know,
true.
he's the first cat to have like this thing, which I
Yeah.
think looks okay.
I wish they like
They
all
should
had
all have that.
costumey. I want costumey, not the
Yeah,
tight spandex.
not-
Like that's weird.
CGI, yeah.
Yeah.
But the whole, like, he's hyper sexy, and the whole
Yeah.
song, he's the annoying type of cat where, like, you open the door to let him out, and then he wants to come back in. And right,
Yes.
like he wants.
Yeah.
It's
he
in the
does
lyrics.
that. Like yeah.
You give him chicken, but he wants fish, and all. It's like he's like a bad. He's an annoying cat, but it's this.
Ugh.
Ooh.
Are you guys still on the Rum Tum
I'm
Tum?
Rum
Yeah,
Tum Tugger.
We're just on the end.
I was
I
just
think
talking about
that-
the lyrics versus the vibe, which is it's sexy, but the lyrics are dumb as hell.
It's
He's
like
a
he's just
dumb
yeah.
cat.
But he's trying to be sexy, which is like weird though. I don't know. It didn't mix.
The
Here's
whole
the
thing
thing.
is
Everybody's
Everybody's
this
naked,
whole
so it's
number.
inherently-
I would like to watch this whole number again because I was so
Let's
off
pull it up.
put by the Rebel Wilson one. The intro, the Rebel Wilson, you're like, I'm gonna
right
shut
into
this off.
this.
I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
That the Jason Derulo Rum Tum Tugger, I don't remember at all. I was so like, I don't even know what's happening anymore. I
just
can't
remember he was
understand anything
so-
he's saying.
He's like all over the place.
People are
which was
drinking
kinda
milk
crazy.
and they're like rubbing on him. It's like,
Yeah.
and I was like, I kind of think this is cool, but I'm like, what's going on anymore?
kind of into this, like
So,
like I think I'm Rum Tum Tugger, maybe in
Yeah.
some ways.
so hold on. At the end of this, Victoria sees a sad cat outside. She has like a
this
messy
is-
coat on.
Yeah, this
and
is
she looks all
dumb.
sad. And her name is Grisabella. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, are you gonna show this quick?
Yeah,
I
just
don't-
a second.
so
Oh,
I
the hip hop boys.
This is
So,
like
I
don't
hate
know
this.
If this
I hate
happened
everything
at the beginning
about
or
this
end,
trio.
but this I just hated this. The sneakers, first of all, I
they
don't
they
understand.
break dance at some point, and
Yeah,
it was just like,
they were like his backup
Thanks for that.
dancers, which I
Yeah.
hated. Cause
oh, are
there's
they? Oh, maybe they are his squad.
or
I didn't
so-
even
but
think about that.
I don't understand why they had
His crew?
sneakers on.
And they've
either.
got the
I don't know.
chains, and it's like,
Yeah.
ugh, come
it was weird.
on. Anyway,
No apologies needed. This has been the most like conflicting inside of me movie I've ever seen. I don't know
Like
how
Ben
to feel
loves
about
to
this.
sing
Part
and
of
dress
me-
up, but then
part of
he's-
me adores this movie,
Right.
Yeah.
and the other part hates every
Well,
bite of it.
I think I.
I'm not
I
kidding.
think I just adore
I
the
know,
like.
I agree.
I-
Look at us right now.
You think I,
I
did
think
this
I
because
adore
like
the characters in the
'Cause I'm a
musical,
fan.
but
I'm a
I hate the
cathead.
movie.
Cat.
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of
Big
like
cat
the
head.
movie.
Outta here.
I kind of like the movie.
Okay, hold on. Grisabella comes out. Sad
Alright.
Jennifer
Yeah.
Hudson
The
comes out.
glamour cat.
And first
So-
thing, Jason Derulo hisses at her, and
Oh,
probably-
everybody hates her.
But I love the hissing in this movie because they just have human faces, so they just
Yeah, they're like, yeah,
And
exactly.
then, like
That's it.
Jason Derulo sprints away naked. He looks
Yes.
naked.
It's
he
a naked,
hisses and
exactly.
runs
It's a
away.
naked person running away. At every time they run away, it's a naked person in the
And you
dark
just see
alley
butt
running away.
cheeks, just
Yeah.
full cheeks. I'm
Which
not
I don't-
surprised. I'm not surprised there's a butthole cut because there's a lot of butts in it.
There's probably a
Right.
legit, yeah, okay.
The Rum Tum Tugger.
Sorry,
She sings the sad song, how she used to be like, have the glamour
we
life, and
skipped
now
something.
she's.
We skipped something. I
What?
think.
What is
Ma-
it?
No, go ahead. Sorry. I
Okay,
will make sure I say it if we.
Well, if I do though, let me know.
Yeah.
Oh, this though, like
threw you way off,
sometime
sorry.
in this, McCavity shows up
Yes.
and talks to Jenny Anydots.
Yes,
Is that
that's
her
what I
name?
was going to
Jenny
say.
Anydots?
Jenny Any
Um,
Dots.
And he's
One
like,
word.
"Oh, that performance," and he's like talking to her, and then in the
It
middle of
sucks.
her kind of like being like, "Yeah, it was really good," he like poofs her into smoke and disappears. And that's
No
the
ex-
first time I go, "Is there
What the
magic
f-
in this?"
Yeah.
Right.
fuck is
Nobody
going
said there
on?
was magic. I thought
He-
the only magic was the heavy side layer.
I'm pretty sure he literally even does this.
Yeah,
and
it's like,
she's-
poof.
she turns to smoke, and then I think
And then
he
he,
does
like,
too.
Slips
Or-
away. I don't even remember.
Yeah, he does that, and then fades. Oh,
Really
my-
fucking weird. And it kind of cuts to that and then goes back to like Jason Derulo, where you're like, what
Yeah.
just happened?
It's right in the middle of the song.
Middle
he
of
just,
it. Yeah. So that's weird.
I like this better without the polka dots. Wow, I really feel like Rum Tum Tugger now.
The Rum Tum Tugger. I love the stage Rum Tum Tugger. It is
He's got a little
Oh,
swirl up
it's
front.
What
this.
are you doing, Ben?
Yes, man.
oh, it's
Oh,
so
What a-
good.
No,
what
we
a
watched
horny
we,
dude.
We
Like
are
this
we-
is just the best
Yeah.
thing ever.
It is.
Him Like
It's him
I
rubbing
love
faces
Rum
all
Tum
over
Tugger
his
on the
crotch in
stage.
this, and he's
It's
like, "Hey,
so
bitch!"
good.
like the whole time. Look at this.
I just love everything about
Whoa.
this.
It's like Prince and David Bowie. Like,
Yeah, look at
had
the
a
swirl in the
baby
hair.
cat, right?
He's
Look
got a
at
little
that.
Elvis Presley
Yes.
thing going on.
The belt, the
Oh,
like the
man.
suit. Oh, it's so
He's
good.
like humping people.
It is so good.
You
But
know
see,
how it is
that-
when you're a rum
I
tum
feel
thugger.
like I would enjoy watching compared to like this weird milk palace thing. Like it was weird.
Whatever.
So sad Grisabella sings. Everyone seems to hate her though. They just hiss and yell at her.
No
the whole time.
explanation. They just hate her guts.
And the whole time she's like, "I'm so sad," and they're like, "Fucking get away from me!" Like that is
ew,
the attitude they have.
Gross, bitch. Like bye.
Bitch, yuck.
Yeah.
Glamour
Like,
cat, maybe
there's
like
no-
used to
Yeah,
be.
they're
She-
just hissing and being mean to her the whole
She
time.
sings for like 30 seconds,
All right.
maybe,
Mhm.
and it's a small piece of what will eventually
Little
be
something, something.
the best song in the movie.
Yeah,
but
thank
it's like-
God, but
Everybody hates her guts for no reason.
no, and then she's like crying and walking
She
away,
has
and they're
boogers
like, "Ugh."
running from her
Yeah.
nose
Yeah.
into her mouth in
The whole
every
movie.
scene. I'm not
Every
kidding.
scene. Yeah.
Jennifer
You're
Hudson,
absolutely
like,
right.
And they're moving.
Gave her all
they're
out.
CGI'd on, and they go over her lip and into her mouth.
Right.
I'm not kidding.
But here's the thing, right?
But the whole time
The
they're
thing
so
about
mean.
Cats, the movie and the musical, is when she appears, you suddenly realize what's been so weird about this whole thing. Most musicals are some sort of full cast introduction to the story. Then you get the protagonist comes out and sings some "I Want" solo.
Did you
Yeah,
watch
right.
the same video as me?
We probably
I
Probably
am
did.
versus I want. Yeah.
we did not. I watched a different
Okay.
thing about why the music
sure it's
music
about
in
the same,
Cats is
though.
so bad. But it's very
Sounds
similar.
pretty familiar. I don't know.
Right. Maybe we did, right?
touch
So
my
this isn't
face.
me talking,
You're,
but
like,
this is
so
some
hot.
research that we did.
Yeah.
But it made me understand it, right? Is that all of a sudden, like halfway into the freaking movie, you realize that Cats is from the perspective of the antagonists,
Yeah, they're the bad
right?
guys.
Yeah.
They're the bad guys.
Yeah, they're douchebags.
They're all singing about how cool they are
So
and
cool
what they
to
are and
be
how awesome they
Jellicle,
are.
yeah.
And all of a sudden you get to see, oh, actually here's the normally the protagonist you would follow about like I was shunned out of the Jellicles and I was a glamour cat and I
Right.
want to come
Right.
back and my life's been
The whole time she's like asking for help, and they're like, "Fuck you,"
She's
and
just
they
like,
just
yeah,
hiss at her.
can-
Like
like,
they
and
are
I get-
total
'cause
assholes.
they're the bad guys.
They're douchebags.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Victoria's like, "Hold on, let me."
Well, and
like,
that's
because
what
she's
makes
kind of the
her-
main character, which
That's
is
what
weird.
makes
Don't-
the White
don't do
Cat's
this.
appearance seem so weird because for so much of this movie, I'm waiting for the White Cat to get her song about like what's her
Yeah.
story
She
and this and
kind of does, but it's like
Not
just kind of
really
tucked in between someone else's song.
not really because ultimately at the end you realize, oh, she's just the audience, which I don't think you
Yeah.
need her at all because
No,
they're just
we
they're-
didn't
it's
need
like
her.
Right. They could
I'm
just
a
sing
dumb
to
cat
us.
and
Well,
like it's right there in
yeah.
the lyrics. Like
It's
I'm
also
a stupid cat and I
weird.
poop outside my litter box.
Right.
I don't like why.
Like that's
I don't
how
know why
this-
they-
on the floor.
They
Right.
bring her immediately into the group, and it's like, why you be nice to her and you're being a
Right.
douche to her? It,
It-
doesn't
it-
make any sense.
exactly right. She got thrown in a pillowcase out of a car, but you've
Yeah.
got this former glamour cat, whatever the hell
Yeah.
that is, who once was a
Former-
great Jellicle cat.
She was a Jellicle.
She
She's
was a
formerly
Jellicle.
a
She's
glamour
really-
cat.
And
you
she
know
has
what?
like a
Oh.
fancy like
Now she's
clothes,
just
you know.
old AF.
Somebody does say at one point that she got in with McCavity or something, and so
Yeah,
I
They were
They were like
guess.
McCavity did that to her or something, but still,
Well, then,
Bad
like,
move.
what do you guys? You got all monsters?
yeah,
Where's
I
the
don't
sympathy
understand.
here?
So right when it's kind of like sad when
Ladies,
they're all
how do
hissing
you-
at her,
Sorry, ladies. How do you rub your eye when you have a bunch of
You don't.
mascara and eyeshadow on? You don't. Okay.
you don't.
What if I have a
just-
nose itch,
I'll
but
just
my
do
nose
this.
is covered in?
You also don't. You can kind of do the like a certain
Right, look
you
at-
know.
I can't touch my face. Look at this shadow. Look at this contouring.
I have.
I should have really.
If it was like really
Look
high.
at. I have a
Right.
little bit of like. Ken
at
has
these
like
eyebrows, my
black. They
God.
couldn't be blacker. The black on
yeah,
your nose
black is
is
yeah.
like the night black.
Ours was like a really bad
Because I'm a
crayon.
Jellicle cat.
You
Yeah,
also
he's a
wiped
Je-
off some of yours.
I'm not so jellicle here.
You look like a Gumby cat.
am a Gumby cat.
But Gumby cats are apparently Jellicle cats.
Yeah, you know,
So-
apparently that Venn diagram is just there's a lot
just-
of crossover.
I
all
love
over
how,
the place.
without talking to each other at all, Ken and I essentially are wearing the
Yeah.
exact same.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get what Rum Tum Tugger's
I
all
love that
about.
you guys
He's
said
a
that
sexy
best.
boy.
Like all
Yeah.
we want to be
Well,
is Rum Tum Tugger.
I just think the only thing like redeeming about those costumes is when there's an actual piece of fabric on
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
The alternative, if you were to like dress as a
Yes.
cat from the
I love
movie,
that.
if you dress from the
Ben.
movie, you're just in a leotard, like a hairy
Exactly. It looks.
leotard.
I also they usually have in the musical they have like leg warmers that are like furry.
Right, right.
So that's not people legs all the time.
There's a scene when we'll get there.
Stop.
the Rum Tum Tugger.
No, this is it. There's a scene when old Deuteronomy shows up. And it's Judi Dench, and she's got
Yeah.
on this. Oh, she's got on this huge coat, and I'm gonna have to. She's got on this huge fur coat. I gotta put my leg up,
Yeah.
and they clearly CGI'd her thighs.
Her legs are
to
like
look
cat legs.
Huge.
Yeah,
up
no,
here.
she we don't
And
have
then
a
they
good picture,
they
Ben.
taper.
No, she
they
has like
taper to a
legit cat
paw.
legs, so yes.
And it's like, where the fuck were all the other paws?
Yeah, no, it's like
You
they did
can't
just
do,
for
like-
her.
And she's standing there,
I
and
totally
she's
know
in
what
this
you mean.
coat. She looks at like she's in front, relaxed, with just absolutely like cyclist quads. And then
Yes.
this tiny, like that's her foot. Looks
Right,
just
like an actual cat
Because-
like a
leg.
cat.
Because
yeah.
later when she's in the basket, she puts her back cat leg up,
Yeah,
and it's
Judi
like a
Dench does
full-on cat
like
leg.
a full on.
which also I looked it up. She's 85 when they made this. I guarantee she was not like, "Woo," and like
Yeah, she's
leg
like doing the splits.
So that was probably like a CG. Someone just put a pole up and it
Oh
like
my gosh.
CGI'd or something.
We're never
Right,
gonna
you're the
get through
guy
this.
under
I'm
the
sorry.
mat. You're the
Yeah.
guy under the
There's
mat with
one-
the Judi Dench.
I mean-
Judi Dench leg. And you gotta do that.
And they're like, this is when she raises it, raise it higher, raise
All
it
right,
higher.
go ahead.
Up, up,
Oh.
up.
Or you know what it is? It's not a pole. It's another person laying behind her in the makeup. I bet that's how they did it. Honest to God. And so
then
somebody
they
else
raise
is
their
laying
leg?
behind her. Yeah, and they gotta do that.
They do this number.
Can you do it?
Ah,
Okay.
no, of course not.
No.
I definitely can't with my
Well, you have to be
legs.
laying
Why were they
flat.
always doing this?
Why? Because they're cats? Why are you doing
They
Well,
did
I
that
don't-
so
I don't
much.
understand the context of the pose.
I don't know.
Like
like
They're wearing like bodysuits and they're always like doing the splits. to
Jenny
the
Any
camera.
Dots did that a lot, which I was
Yeah.
like, is this supposed to be funny or
Jenny Any Dots is the worst part of this movie,
I'm
and it's in
sorry.
the beginning, and it ruins the
And
whole
she's-
rest of the movie.
She's supposed to be the
the
comic
beginning is the
relief.
worst part of this
Waste of
movie.
money is what that was.
If you can make
okay.
it through the beginning, you might stand a chance.
Yeah.
Of
It
liking
is like
something.
get through the first half an hour and then
Yeah.
it gets better. I don't know. You're used to it. I don't know if it gets
Maybe
better.
you just get used to it.
Okay, so to pick up the mood from
Can
Grisabella
we
being
please
sad.
get yes?
Hold on. Bustopher Jones walks up, which also I might have missed something in between, but for the most part, Bustopher Jones, the cat about
Look at
town, shows
that.
up. And he sings a song about all the different garbage cans from restaurants he likes to eat from.
Gentlemen's
And he's
clubs,
like-
Emily.
Bopping into garbage cans and eating and this and that, and he's all fat, and that's the funny part.
This is the like out of all the characters, he has the least. And again, it's a whole 5-minute number.
Mm-hmm.
And this one you walk away from and you're like, well, that was definitely pointless. There was no reason for that at all.
No, because at the
Well,
end...
that's not true. There's another cat that is
Oh.
even less meaningful, but
But this was kind of funny.
it's got some
It's-
laughs
Had
in it.
more
Yeah.
laughs than any
Like
the rest
even
of it,
the
yes.
part where he's like yelling at his little assistant because he was like, "Do
Yes.
you really think
I
that would
chuckled,
work?"
yeah.
Like that was kind of funny.
Yes,
At-
I will
and-
admit that. But you can't throw in like one joke into a movie. Is it funny? Is it not? Is it?
At
It was
this
weird
point,
to have like at this point be like, oh, now I'm gonna be a jokester, and
you
it was
definitely
like, well, we
have to
only sang.
surrender to the movie at this point, or give up. If you
Right.
can't,
You're
Bustopher
in it.
Jones is gonna make or break film viewers. I think.
So
Bustafer
so
Jones.
at the
Like,
end,
whoa.
quiet so we can get through this. At the end of his singing,
Like, come
McCavity shows up, and Bustafer Jones jumps into a trash can that then again poofs him
Yep.
away into nowhere land.
Yeah. So now we're finally starting to get a little
we're
bit of like
hold up. So Jenny
something
Anydots
is happening here.
and Bustafer Jones.
This is not
Bustafer
just
Jones.
horny cat after horny cat singing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it is, but it's also this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are like
It's
very
both.
sexual all the time, which is weird.
Oh yeah.
And then what do we do?
Excuse
He
me.
falls down a tube, which
He
is
falls down a
weird.
tube, like
'Cause it
very
looks
like
like he
Mario
dies.
style.
Yeah. And I'm like,
he
cool.
disappears. I think
Bustafer's
everyone
dead.
kind of runs away because they see McCavity, and then
Yeah.
not Jenny, Victoria, sorry,
Big Vic.
Vicky V.
is grabbed by two cats,
Oof.
new cats. They're two calicos,
Again,
Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser.
few things bother me in movies other than late introductions of new characters. Turns out this whole movie is nothing.
Well, that's
but
all
It's
this is.
all
That's
an introduction to
front
characters.
to back.
Yeah, So,
new
like,
character.
up
New
until
character.
the very end. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna let you
these
guys.
two,
I'll be right back. I'm gonna let you take this one
Okay.
because I hate this. This is probably the most.
He hates
least
everything about
interesting-
Mungo
hates
Jerry
everything.
and Rumple Teaser.
First of all,
What did I
would
write
love...
down? I wrote down Rumpelstiltskin and McGonagall in my notes. I'll hear it.
I would love to name a real cat Rumple Teaser or Mungo Jerry.
That had I
think
known,
that would be a great.
we could have
cat
named
names.
Mittens and
Oh my
George,
You trying to think of
Mungo
their
Jerry and
names?
Rumple Teaser. That'd have been hilarious.
They also have extremely bad British accents. So they're like, "Hey, yo!" Like they're very like if someone was like, "Hey, can you do a British musical voice?" They're real bad.
I love this from Ryan. That's what it felt like to me. And you know what? When
It
you
was
have
like
one of those
that.
weird dreams, you're not like, it wasn't a nightmare. It was just a weird dream. It
was
wasn't like,
fucked up though.
it wasn't like when we watched Downsizing, I was like, when
Ugh.
does this end? And
That-
that was
that
a
was
long
bad.
movie. And this was like a trip.
So, okay, Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser, they like introduce themselves and they're like, "Hey, we like to fuck up the house we're in all the time
Right.
and
Look at
ruin
this.
things and stuff." And so they put like necklaces on her and rings and they're like, we can just blame it on someone else. Like we like to fuck shit up. They like, oh, there's also another one after this one. Can you do the other picture?
Oh, there's another picture.
There's another picture. So they're like eating the food. This is what I hated. All the
didn't
big
like
stuff
this.
didn't look big. It didn't look like a human size. It looked
Right.
It looked. I don't
Everything's a
know. Something
little
was
off.
off.
It wasn't
Oh, no.
right. It wasn't the
rubbing
right size.
Something's not
Yeah.
right.
This one in
Also,
particular
she's
was like
very little. Look at that knife.
right.
Like, I
Like
don't know.
she's simultaneously too big and too small.
Yes.
It's never the right
It
size
Let's
doesn't
put a
when
make
they
fork
do
sense.
next to the
big-
cats and see what size it is. Because there's something about the fork is too small.
It's also
but the
that she has
necklace is
people
too
hands.
big.
She's too big in the chair. The necklace
you-
is definitely too big.
But I
right.
think the
like,
problem
could you imagine
is-
this fork by this chair? That would be insane.
Yeah, that
That's a
doesn't make
giant
sense
fork.
either.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
But it also doesn't make sense because she has people hands and a people face.
That's also
So
very true.
right
away,
Maybe
it's
that's
just
what it
whiskers.
is.
It's
Maybe
like
that-
I don't know
a
what you're talking
legit
about.
person. Oh my god. Okay, so they fuck up the house, and then
Which is
at the
apparently
end,
their thing. Hey, we're
I
Rumple
guess.
Teaser and I don't know, McGonagall, and we just fuck shit up. That's our
At
thing.
the end, they hear a dog barking, and they run out. She tries to run out, and her necklace that she's wearing gets caught on the bed. She's like panicking and freaking out. They're like, "Fuck you," and they ditch her. They just jump out the window. It's not too late to
Ooh.
rename Potato.
The Bustafer Jones.
Whoa, that's a strong contender. That's
But before
You
she
did bust your knee.
before she gets
Oh,
caught out,
man.
Ah.
we called her Bustafer Jones because she destroyed my knee.
I say do it. Go for it.
Magic Mike shows up. What's his name?
Oh,
What's
God.
what's his
Oh,
name?
you're
Stop-
talking about
Magical
the magical
Mr.
Mr.
Mistopheles.
Mistopheles?
Thank you.
How could you forget that?
Magical
Because I wrote
Mr.
Magic Mike in my notes.
Mistopheles.
Are you kidding me? The magical Mr. Mistopheles?
He shows up and saves her, and he's like, "We were looking for you everywhere." Which you're like, "Oh, you guys got something going on."
Of course, yeah, they have something going on. He's magical.
He helps get her
I
out of the
don't
house
like this
before the
guy.
dog comes. Which
don't-
also, them by the door, they like close the door. They look like they're about this
Right.
tall
This
in
is-
real life.
They're
You're
about
a cat.
6 inches
You're
tall
a cat.
next to the door.
Like, yeah.
the crease between the door and the floor comes up to like their hips. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not
Everything
kidding.
doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
It's
they're
all
not
over the
cat- Like,
place.
It's like up and
if we
down
had-
and up
if-
and
like our cat was sitting right now and be this tall. Like he wouldn't be like, oh, like the crack
Right.
would.
they're like
yeah, it doesn't make
mice
sense.
sized, but then they're cat sized, but then they're like kid sized.
But then
and
they're little humans.
It's weird.
It doesn't make sense. He helps save her. Then they
don't
go
like that
back
guy.
on the street, and that's when what was his name, like Mustaburger or whatever. What's the narrator guy?
Oh,
I don't remember.
Bobby.
Robbie Tum Tim Tim.
Yeah.
Mustardo, mustard
Monka
boy,
strap.
Monka strap.
How
Monka
did
strap.
I not think of Monka
Come
Strap?
on, Emily.
Yeah,
So he's like, look who's coming, and it's old.
Old Deuteronomy,
Finally.
baby.
Put it up. Okay.
There we
Old
go.
Deuteronomy. I'm gonna for now
Listen.
call her Old D from here on out.
there's a lot to hate about the way they
So-
made her character look.
That's totally true. But hold on. We'll
Okay,
talk
all
about
right,
her
all right,
looks.
all right.
But Old D, they're like, she's lived 100
D.
years.
99 lives, not
Yeah.
100.
Okay, 99 lives, and she
'Cause
only
she's
comes out on this one day, and she's all like, she comes out of the smoke
Right.
in her little
She
coat.
she's got her huge quads and
Yeah.
her tiny cat paws
but
coming
she
down the
has,
street.
she is
Even
the
though
only
everyone else has
one-
people legs.
That's right. She's the only one to have like cat legs and cat like paws.
Human
That's
hand-
because
sometimes.
she's
she has
fully
human
jellicle.
But she has human hands.
She's gone
fully
full
jellicle.
whatever the fuck.
She's
that is.
she is like almost. She's like
Is
half
this
the
actually
inside
about
layer.
people who are
But
turning into cats?
when
Maybe
know.
when
that
she
would make
comes
more
out
sense.
and they start singing her song, she's like the Pope walking around. Everyone is like,
Yeah, they like worship her.
Right.
Yeah,
and
They
she's
worship-
like kind of touching them and
They
creeping
want
around
to get to the heavy side
town.
layer.
It's weird. That's all.
it is
Um,
weird. It's yeah.
So we can talk about then they go in a building, but we can talk about how she looks because it is oof. Duh. Is yep.
She looks just like our cat.
The
I
whole
don't-
time I was just laughing because she looked like Mau.
I don't hate the way she looks. She looks better
She does
than
look better.
all the other naked cats. She looks ridiculous, but it's better than the naked
But
cat.
she
Mhm.
looks like a cat.
She looks
Right.
more like a cat.
She has
Yeah.
this like mane.
But the
here.
whole
Look
time
at
I
this.
was like, she.
it's
Yeah, she does look like Mau Mau.
unmistakable.
Yeah.
But it's weird that she is so much like a cat, and then the rest are like, well, I have my fur leotard on, and I can see like their arms and their like people legs, and
Yeah,
that's what I didn't
It's
understand.
bizarre. It's bizarre.
Like, make them all really furry cats if that's the issue.
Well, or do the collar, right? That's what what worked in the stage
Yeah.
play. Give them.
Right.
Is this the sequel to Down?
I
This
like
is
this.
better
This
than
no. This is
downsizing.
what
This is
you know.
so
Remember
much
the
better
zero
than-
point 0.01% that you might not get downsized correctly. You get turned into Judy Dench. That's the
There you go. You get
turned into
padded.
that.
Deuteronomy.
You get jellicold.
As long as I
That's
can
what
be
happened.
Bustafer Jones, I'll be happy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So they go into a building. It's called the Egyptian. They start like chanting like a cult in
This
there.
is a weird,
Really
like,
weird.
15 minutes of
The Jellicle
Yeah.
ball begins.
But
I
the way they're
guess, yeah.
chanting is like, we're in a cult. Like, all of a sudden you realize, you'd be like, fuck, I just joined a cult if you were Victoria. Like, that is,
I made a mistake.
yeah, oops. And they're all like chanting around
There's
the
some-
moonlight and being like really creepy.
There's some decent dancing in here, but it's lost.
But that's because
right?
there were like legit ballet.
They have
They're-
a well, the main
professional
girl, the white
dancers.
cat,
She is, yeah.
Veronica. She's a ballet
Victoria.
dancer.
Mhm.
Rumpelskitz and McGonagall are from the actual play.
Okay.
They're the actual.
There's
um,
another one coming up
There's
that
a lot
is
of them
a
who are
dancer.
very good. Like the railway cat.
Yeah.
I think must be.
He
Like
Oh,
that's
is.
not
yeah.
an
Looked him up.
actor.
You talking
No,
about
he's
Skimble
definitely,
Shanks?
yeah, he's
we'll
a
get to
dancer.
that.
Speaking of like character added at the 11th hour, good lord! I
Yeah,
thought
that-
I
right.
thought the
which I was
Jellicle
like-
ball. So you have sorry, I'm taking over.
No, keep
doing
going.
it. This is Rum Tum Tugger time. It's like a 15-minute mix of all the songs you heard before,
Right.
Yeah.
and they're all dancing, and it's like
It's real
partially
weird.
nightmarish because
Well,
They're
this is
also,
the
like-
right before
through.
intermission. This is in the play. This is
Is that
the
what
lead
it
up to
is?
Okay.
intermission.
This is
what-
That's
before
what I was saying, though.
intermission.
This is
Holy
when
shit.
the like synthesizer music kind
Yeah.
of came back.
Oh yeah, it got really weird.
But
It got like
like,
60, 70
yeah.
synthesizer.
Yeah.
but also that is when they're like they act like they're like orgasming in the
It's
like
very
it was
like-
weird.
They're all like, their tails are like,
Yeah, and they're
It's-
like on the floor falling.
Like,
I was like,
you see
okay,
like 30
should I
cats
be
all in the same pose, and they're
like
all
in
right,
the
in
moonlight?
like
Doing
striking
this.
light. The lighting is like,
like,
fantastic,
how do I get it
and they're all
behind
like,
me?
and the
Like,
the jellicle
everybody's-
ball.
Yeah, and then the Pope
I
is
can't-
just
I'm
standing
not
there like
Flexible. Who said I'm not flexible? You're absolutely correct. They're just like, oh, in the
That
moonlight.
is it. And they're like falling on the floor. And at that point, you're like, I don't. Well, that's when it's very cultish. They're all like chanting and shaking. And
Right. This is
it's
when Emily
very-
turned to me and said,
there's-
"This is a cult, isn't it?"
And there's shit in here where they're super herky jerky, and they move like it doesn't make any. They don't move like cats. They don't move like people. They're moving
No.
like bugs or something that you like
Right. This
did
is when I-
something to.
yeah. Now I'm on board. Like it's getting freaky and
There's
weird
a-
and cool.
There's a specific spot in this dance where what's his name, Monkastrap, his face straight up like slides on his like the CGI
oh, man,
like
I
doesn't
wanna
move.
see
I should
that.
find the scene. It
Ugh.
like does a little like
no.
let's center that face.
Oh my god!
Ugh.
So after they sing about the Jellicle Ball,
It's very long. It's like 15 minutes.
Right.
Jay-
Like it was intermission. Like you're supposed
Yeah.
to get up and go to the bathroom while they do
yeah,
this part.
exactly.
Yeah.
Jennifer Hudson goes
Again,
shows
What's her
up.
name?
But yeah.
Grisabella.
Griswold.
She shows up, but then everyone like hisses
They
at her
hiss
and
at her
throws her back
again.
out.
Yeah.
But then Vicky goes outside to check on her,
Yeah.
and she sings a little diddly to her.
But before Vicky sings, this is when we get the first taste of the memory.
Yeah, no, this is
All
a song they used in all the previews to be like, it's a hit, it's a musical, and you're
that's
like,
the
this is
yeah, because
classic
it's Jennifer
Cats
Hudson,
song.
like, and she's
'Cause-
singing it. They found like a great singer to sing the one good
and she
song.
nails it. Make no mistake.
She's
We
good.
get there. We get there. But you were saying like everybody in the play, every cat is basically the protagonist, right? And when you finally get, maybe I'm jumping the gun. When you finally get to what Griswold is about, she's the cat that deserves it, right? And she belts out this massive ballad, and then
Yeah.
it's sort of the whole thing flips, and they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, it's you.
Doy.
Like, you're the
Yeah,
doy,
you're the one who's not being
It's
a
not
douchebag to everyone.
dumb douche." Yeah, exactly. So I jumped the gun. We'll get
No,
there.
that's okay. Okay, so in the theater, someone like finds Gus the theater cat.
Asparagus.
Yes, that's his real
Asparagus.
name.
Asparagus.
He looks like he's on his last life.
Boy,
he
Oh, no
is
They
having trouble.
captured the look of a cat about to die. I don't want to be rude.
It's
like,
true though.
This might be the
It's-
one costume that's better in the movie.
It's better.
It is good.
Man,
Why does he look like a cat? Nobody else looks
I'm
like
telling
this.
you, it's because he's
Because
got the
they did, like-
diamond.
And
He's got the
yes.
diamond look.
And he's also
Right?
got
The
like
hair
he's got the
comes way
hair on
out.
the face.
Nobody else has this.
Exactly.
Like,
So he though was a
But
theater
where's
cat, and
Victoria
so
compared to that?
Mike the magician.
right?
look at this. That's
Yeah,
Just
not
no,
like
it's
that at
fucking
all.
human with
creepy.
like headphones on.
Yeah. So Magic Mike comes out and he's like, "Hey, you used to be a theater cat," and so he goes back out and he does like one more kind of song performance for everyone.
Which
Now
I guess
this is when Judy, aka Old D, is in a basket and she's doing that leg
she
raise.
does
The
the
leg.
stretch.
And she's
yeah.
like, "Oh,"
she's
and
like
I-
being
oh,
cute in
God.
the basket.
She's like
I'm sorry, but I
gripping the
hate it.
basket this whole number, and she's like, she's
She's
something's
into
happening.
him.
They-
Like you
She
think
is.
he's gonna go to
Every-
the heavy side layer.
Right,
Every,
he's
like-
about to
like
get some heavy
3
side
minutes.
something.
every 3 minutes they cut to her and she's like, the
But
basket.
it's
she's
not
like,
even.
really-
It's cut. It
she's-
cuts. It's like this.
Yes.
It cuts to her, and
Right.
she's
and
like,
she's like,
super
"Ooh."
close.
It's
Yeah.
really weird. It's also like,
There's-
look at her. She's just wearing like her everyday rings. Like,
"Yeah,
Right,
why does
she's
she have
married.
a ring on?"
Well, she
She's
probably
married,
didn't take it
presumably.
off. Like this is
But
this
this-
is what I'm saying. It's
Old
weird.
Deuteronomy.
Gus's song
Anyway.
is pretty good.
Gus
it's
is good.
very slow. It's
Yes.
a very slow
But it
start.
is good.
It's entertaining, yeah.
So he sings. He goes backstage and McCavity's there. McCavity's like, "That was fantastic. Can I have your signature?" And when he goes to do his signature, poof, he poofs him
magics him.
away.
And
You know what?
saw that coming.
We forgot
all know
something.
that.
We forgot
Oh wait,
something.
what? Go for it.
Way back when Jenny Any Dots, Rebel Wilson, and Bustopher Jones,
Yeah, I didn't
James
talk about
Corden get whooshed away, it finally shows you where
one
they're
more.
going. They're apparently on a
Like
barge,
on a boat? Yeah.
like a trash barge in the
with
River
like big
Thames.
chains.
And they're literally just have a chain on them. The idea
Which is
being
like,
that
you
it's
could-
so
you're a
heavy
cat.
that they
Can
can't
you,
get
like,
out.
get out
But
of
yeah,
that?
right. It's a cat. You
Like-
would just
Yeah.
you'd worm out of it.
Like-
But then there's like a super creepy cat there, and
But he's also very like, "You're not gonna get out of here," and that's
He-
it. And you're like,
he
"Can't
sings-
we?"
he sings like 3 lines that don't rhyme. And
Yes.
what Bustopher calls him out on it, I chuckled at that, and he pronounces
That was the
Thames
only good
wrong and
part.
all that
Mhm.
stuff. But so we know where they're going now that
Yeah.
he's McCavity's
Yeah,
grabbed.
they're all like poofing
Any
onto the
dots?
boat.
Bustopher, Gus. Who else did he get at this point?
That's it so
Does
far.
he grab Rum Tum Tugger? He doesn't.
No. Which I'm
That's
like,
weird.
why is he not?
He must. He must
No,
be
he
there.
doesn't though.
What happens to him?
He just like doesn't
Just
do
runs
anything.
away, huh? I guess
just-
that's in his character. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's a
he
curious
doesn't
cat.
do him.
He's a curious
He
cat.
poofs Gus.
Yep.
And then the next song is Skimbleshanks, the railway cat.
This is the most out of place thing on earth
This
because
is weird, but
we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Ben, we're not to your part yet.
We're not
You
there
need to-
yet. Yeah, you jumped the gun.
We're at
Uh,
the railway cat, which I will admit though, the guy is a dancer. He's fantastic.
Oh, Skimbleshanks the
Undeniable
Railway
talent.
Cat?
Undeniable talent.
But
This is one of the best songs in the
it's
movie.
real weird because
It's
he's
way
like
out
in
of place,
the
though.
he's in the Egyptian like tap
Oh, yeah.
dancing, and then all of a sudden they're on the railway, and then they're in a rail car, and it's like really weird the way it like poof 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 like.
Plus,
My
we
favorite thing
already-
about this whole song is the tap dancing part is in 13/8 time. It's
Oh,
1 2 3 1 2
boring.
3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3
Well,
1 2
that's
1
why
2.
when he tap dances, you're like amazing, but at the same
It's
time,
like a real weird
Oh.
time signature.
Can you show him? He's
Yeah.
dressed as a cat with red pants, which is weird, and tap dance shoes.
In the movie,
Um,
you never see who Skimbleshanks is. He's
Right.
always
No,
30
He just
feet back.
appears.
no. All of a sudden, he's like, "Hey, you," and he's just there.
And we've already had the Jellicle Ball, and we already had Asparagus sing, and
Yes.
Gus felt like the last like, oh well, let's have Gus have a try, and then we'll decide. And so this
Right.
guy,
No, then he
Hot-
shows off.
hot shit right here, like
Yeah.
Right,
talent,
he is
talent,
hot.
talent,
Shit, this guy.
without a doubt,
Look at those like velvet pants he has on too.
right? Man, those are riding up, baby.
They are to
I
his
know.
armpit.
Those are up there. And like, but then it's like 7 minutes long.
It is very long.
It is.
And it's good, but it's like this should have been
So
20 minutes earlier.
yeah, so this happens.
I agree
we,
with that.
We go across a railway
Bad
into a
timing.
rail car. All this weird stuff.
It's all
we're-
over the place.
When we're back in the Egyptian, he all of a sudden like starts twirling into the air, and then
oh yeah.
poofs.
And then
Wait, what is happening right
Gone.
here? What is this?
yeah. There
Wait,
you
what is
go.
going on
Yeah,
here?
grab that. Grab
What is
that.
that?
Look at
For anybody
that.
on the audio, there is like
Ladies and gentlemen.
there is a cat on the very
We
left
have
side of the
discovered-
screenshot with a person face.
It's
I
a
don't-
sphinx.
I don't
Is
know
that
what
a
this
sphinx?
is. Like, what is this here though? This is like clearly
That's
a
a
cat.
paw.
It's like
Paw?
someone made a cat paw
This
on the
what?
person.
What is
Look
that?
at
Why is
that.
that there?
It's like a
Look at
legit
that.
cat. Like someone
And
threw
then-
a
Where
real
did you
cat.
find this? Is this
Oh.
made up?
Yeah, that looks
look at-
added.
This
Look
is
at him.
look at the how
Look
he's
at
like
his people hands.
look at
I
how
hate
he's
it.
not quite on this in this scene. Like this is the most
Right,
photoshopped blue
exactly.
screen. The whole movie
Oh,
looks like this.
The
whole
whole
thing is green
thing
screen.
was so
Whole thing.
CG'd
It's
and
very
green screen
weird.
that you're
Whole
Oh,
thing.
well,
Which
it's
is
not good.
crazy because it wouldn't be that hard to like I mean, they did it on stage. You
It
ought to be
would
able to
not
figure this out.
be that hard. But I
Right.
also read that everyone who did the musical, not one person was involved in the movie, and people were saying that's the worst thing you could do. Like, don't have anyone who worked on the musical, so I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know,
in
but
terms of like design and yeah, that
just
makes
to like
sense.
help out and be like, well, this is how we made it happen. Like, I'm sure that would have helped, but
No joke. This podcast has been longer than we are
Yeah,
into the actual
probably
movie
the
at this
movie.
point. Like this is gonna be this podcast is
I'm
gonna be
sorry.
longer.
It
than
might
the
be
movie is.
longer.
And I'm sorry, but it is because there's so
It's
much
worth
to
it.
talk about. It's
Um,
insane.
So
after
Skimble
he,
Shanks, he finishes, and then
he
like the
poofs.
I want to express how
Yeah.
quickly the musical number finishes, and he immediately twirls up into the air and turns
Yeah.
to dust.
Right,
Which
because
I
that's
was
what
like-
we know that's what happens now. So let's just get it over with. Right.
I guess, yeah.
McCavity
yeah.
didn't even show up. He just poofed into
Right,
nothing.
he just like like it made all the earlier
It was very
disappearances make less sense because he can clearly do this from I don't know where, what proximity, but Skimble
then-
Shanks is gone.
we have
Scrimble Shanks is gone, and
Buster
What's-
Jones,
Buster
Jenny
Jones
and
is
Dots.
gone.
Jenny
Gus.
and Dots. And
Did he get Gus? He got Gus.
Gus
Got
is gone,
Gus.
and
We were-
and
Nope, not yet.
there's somebody else gone.
No, we already talked about
No.
this. We couldn't remember
about
if
it.
Rum Tum Tugger was gone or not.
He's not.
He's not gone.
No, he never
He
got
doesn't
taken.
get Rum Tum
Oh,
Tugger.
okay.
So
Yeah.
then T Swift shows up.
Ugh.
Her name
Right.
is Bumballerina?
Does she have a name?
Bumballerina?
This is my favorite part of the movie.
Ballerina.
This is
I'm
so.
making this up.
I hate
What
this
the
part
heck
of the
is
movie.
her? She shows up,
Bombalurina?
and she's got
Bombalurina?
like a jar of catnip, which is like
No.
drugs. She sings about how awesome a cavity is, and she starts drugging everyone with catnip.
But you do
Okay.
get
This
a
is
little.
where you see like, but all the like other than Rebel Wilson, all the women in the movie are like professional dancers in
Yeah.
leotard, like green screen leotards. So then when T Swift comes out, who's like a singer, not a dancer, right?
Well, she also, I mean, she does.
Right, but she
But
looks
you can
so much
see the
bigger
difference.
than them.
She does.
She's
Oh,
like-
yeah.
She's like giant.
And she's not,
Well-
right? She's not at
No.
all. So it was like, I don't know.
It's weird the way they did it.
She's like thick.
Yeah, I feel like they tried to make her sexy
Yeah,
Like,
this song
by
is
making it more
weird.
like
Success.
like it was weird.
But then in the
um,
song, she's like sort of a jilted lover of McCavity, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't. She's like obsessed with him,
it's
saying how
not-
good he is and how like sneaky he is and stuff.
but she hates him
um,
because he's sneaky, right? And
Yeah, it's very. So she drugs everyone with catnip. They're like once again freaking out. At the end, naked McCavity jumps out. I say naked because he's
Yes.
got that creep. He's legit naked.
How do I find
This is
naked
it.
McCavity?
so
need
his
to go back.
his plan has come to fruition. He captured all the Jellicle cats that
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
stand a
he-
chance.
Yeah, he says
He
he's the
should
only
be
one
crowned
left.
by default. And he goes up to
Right.
old D.
There's nobody else left.
It's this
Right.
thing happening. He's like,
This.
woo, which
and
is,
this
ugh.
isn't even the worst of it.
This is disturbing, though.
Was he
like,
just naked for this? And
I
then they
guess.
just CGI'd the fur?
You can
on?
see his ribs and like.
That's what
you
I'm
can
saying. Like you can see parts
They
of
were
his
like,
body.
So
Put
he
this-
was just naked on set.
Put
I mean, sure, why not? I don't know what his contract says.
Okay, so he jumps out and he's
Wow.
like, "I'm the only I'm the last one left because he captured all the other Jellicle cats." And old D is like, "No way!" And he poofs her away too.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's when
Old
everyone
Deuteronomy.
panics.
So everybody that's a contender and old D are on the boat.
Yeah, they're on the boat. Then
What could we possibly
Vicky
do?
says, "Do you want to say it, Ben?"
Old Vic.
I know who we could call. The magical Mr. Mistopheles could save the day.
He can use his magic, bring back old D, and he sings his song then.
The magical Mr. Mistopheles.
This
Okay.
guy needed more earlier for this to make sense.
He did some magic, but not enough
But
for
he
me to be like, you can bring back
But he
another
comes
cat.
in at the 11th hour
Yeah.
and saves the day. And it's, I don't know. It's at this point,
It
whatever.
is weird.
Right?
So they sing his song. He keeps trying.
okay.
It's not working. At the end, he tries, and who appears behind him? Old D.
That's
Yes.
right.
Finally.
Yeah, they do. They
Is
do
the-
a classic switcheroo, and
This musical number is not so great though.
No,
the
it's
whole
not
time
because
they
he
just-
never- boring.
They kind of sing for him. They don't
and
like.
it also stops, right? Because he's trying to
Yeah.
make her come. He's trying to make Old D come back, and every time he fails, the whole thing stops
Like
completely.
flops. Yeah.
And it has
And
to
then
like
they have
restart.
to start the song
Mm.
again,
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 times, and
Yeah.
by then you've heard the song 4 times.
It is very.
And
yeah.
it's
It
like-
keeps going.
It doesn't work great.
But once Old D comes back, Magic
back,
Mike
baby.
and Vicky are like rubbing heads and stuff, which I guess
Yeah, they're in
like,
love
a
all of a
thing.
sudden. I
Yeah.
guess.
McCavity's pissed. Back on his boat, the other cats break out of their chains. And then, which they break out of their chains, but I don't know, do they ever get back to the
Hold on.
like location?
I hate both of these designs. Both
You
of
hate
these are
this one?
equally bad.
This
Both
one
of
is
these are hot garbage.
This one is like crazy. I love how crazy this is.
These are both garbage.
Look at
But-
old D back there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And who's that? And Rum Tum Tugger, who at this
Yeah,
point in
Rum
the
Tum
movie
that's
is
like
not
Rum-
even in it anymore.
Rum
He's
Tug
gone.
helping everyone out.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't know
So-
if they leave the boat. They push.
they show them like take off stuff and push bad guys off, but I don't think if they ever get
They
back
drown
to...
that one cat. They
Do they?
drown. Yeah. As soon as Old D gets transferred back, they like, oh wait, we can just pick up these chains, and they
Is
get
that
out of the
what-
chains.
Yeah, which
Oh,
is like,
it's,
what?
it's she takes off
Oh,
her
she
suit
unzips her fur again.
so she can fit out
That's
of the
right.
chains.
Which is
Which
like,
also doesn't make
What the
sense. Why are you unzipping fur?
Oh my
Let me
gosh, I
just
love this comment.
slide out of
from
my
Board to
skin.
Play.
thank you. I worked very hard on it. My
It
wife
looks so
was
good.
involved. I
But
actually
honestly,
used
if in
Jemima
the movie they did that,
from the play.
if they did that
This
in
would
the
work
movie,
better.
it would have worked so much
Right.
better than just having a normal person face.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So
Okay.
they move Old D. They get out of the chains magically, and then they kill that one cat by
They
making
killed
him,
one guy,
They
but
make
then
him
it,
walk the plank,
yeah.
Yep.
and
But
he
it cuts
drowns.
back then to Vicky goes back outside. Like she
Wants
got
to be that
bored.
guy.
Yeah. Vicky gets bored after the musical. She goes back outside and finds Grisabella.
Man,
And then
for the
this
third
time she's like,
The third
you want to
time.
come on back inside? Which she's like, not
Yeah.
really, because everyone hates me. She comes inside and she's like, hey, sing your song, like try it out. And this is when Jennifer Hudson finally sings like the good
Right.
song.
Well,
in it.
this is
Belts
when
it
you
out.
find out the entire movie is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
You
Right.
watched a whole
Yes.
movie of nothing
Yep.
for this like
Yeah.
2-minute
is it.
sequence
This
of
is it.
her coming in and singing memory, and then she runs out of energy
Yeah.
and she falls down.
Somebody
and
tells her to get back up or something.
Victoria helps her back up.
And like kind of
And
sings
then
with
you
her.
get
And
the
then, yeah.
the moment you've been waiting for the whole time, right? I mean, it's the best singing in
And
the
she
whole
nails it.
movie.
Yeah.
She
nails
nails
it.
it.
So
Great.
that's when Old D picks Grisabella as the Jellicle cat.
Rightfully so, right? And it's sort of like in hindsight, you're like, well, yeah, who the fuck
Yeah,
else would it
duh.
be? All
It's
these
not
other
gonna be,
cats
like,
are either dumb
douchebags.
or
Yeah.
dicks or like I hate all these cats except
They're
this
all
one that you've treated
douchebags.
like trash with the
Right.
boogers draining right into her
Still-
mouth.
Right into the mouth.
And
So
2
everyone-
tears, 2 boogers.
But
Every
it's a
scene.
great song.
It is a
It is
fantastic
a good song. She does fantastic.
Yep.
It's just sad that she had to be dressed like a cat during it. And by dressed like a cat, I mean like CG furred. Sorry, I hit this.
Big coat.
And they pick her, everyone cheers, and then they essentially put her into a giant chandelier. It's weird.
It's a
Um,
chandelier.
Mistopheles magically lights up.
Mistopheles is like, let's do this.
He's
And it
pro
starts-
magic now.
Starts
Yeah.
flying out of the building, and you're like, okay, that's weird.
So
As
she gets to go to the heavy
passes-
side layer. This is
Yeah,
the
she was
transfer
tapped.
to heavy side layer, right?
Whatever the fuck that is.
Right. They, and you're never going to find out.
No.
Well,
As
we'll
as
get
she
there.
passes outside, McCavity grabs like a string, whatever.
Some shit.
He falls off onto a statue outside.
Of Napoleon.
And then you just kind of watch her. It's like a hot air balloon, like chandelier, going
She
up
drifts
into the
off,
sun. Which
presumably
sounds like
to
they just
die.
tricked her. And she,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
but
kill
to be
her.
She's
reborn
dead.
as a Jellicle.
What does that mean?
Jellicle stands for Jellicle Cat.
Right. Jellicles
okay.
are what Jellicles
Oh.
do. I think that's what you're misunderstanding.
So then they're like all out on the town. Some are on statues, some are out like on the town.
Yeah, you do need a permission. It's
And-
been pretty vulgar.
Sorry. And this is when old D turns and is like, yo, I'm going to tell you something. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
looks
This is-
directly into the camera.
I am now
this is
singing
when you-
to the audience.
You thought
And a
the movie
cat
was done. And
Is
she,
not
yeah, how
a
to
dog.
address a cat.
the fuck does that
Which
mean?
was like, duh. Like, I don't, the whole
Well, and
time.
the dog
What?
thing is like you've never talked about a dog before. What does
We
this
not
have to do
once
with?
have
You know
mentioned a
what?
dog.
And then like the whole choir sings, right? And then
Gringle
Yeah,
Prinks is pretty
it
good.
zoomed
right?
backs in. And if you want to address
Also,
a cat,
Yes.
she doesn't sing it. She talks it because she's
Oh
85.
yeah. Well, I'll
I mean,
give her.
Which is fine.
She gets a pass on this.
She
one.
does.
and then it's like, whoa, cats are great. And, and you're like,
And
what
it's
the
all.
hell?
It's all.
It's like 10 minutes,
people
though, of
in
her, like,
CGI suits
yes.
on a CGI fountain, and everybody's again. They're like beer can size on this sidewalk. Like no joke. This is another one.
That's
Where
the
it's like,
other
this
thing.
doesn't
If
look
someone
right
were to
at
look
all.
outside, you'd be like, what the
Right,
fuck
they're
is
totally
going
the
on?
wrong
Yeah.
size.
It doesn't make sense. And near the end, she finally tells Vicky, you're a Jellicle cat, which I'm like, no shit. I've been hanging out with you guys
I
the whole
fucking
time.
hope so.
Ass.
After being
But,
through
like-
all
But
that,
also, that means nothing.
when do I get to the
Right.
heavy side layer?
What?
Right.
And then
Dang.
it's like,
that sounds
the
like
end.
some dank weed or something.
Yo, I
That's
call this
it.
shit heavy side layer. That's what I want.
That's the end of the movie. After she addresses how to address a cat, that's it. The end.
And that
You
song
never
was like,
find out what happens to Grisabella or whatever the hell her name
she
is.
falls out of the
heavy
balloon
side
and dies,
layers,
right? I mean, I don't know
nothing.
what. She's in a
She
chandelier.
was left in a hot air
It's gonna
balloon by
pop.
herself.
There you go. You're welcome. If you haven't seen Cats 2019, the movie, there you go.
So
That's
That's
what
it.
it is.
the one thing I will admit is after we watched the movie, which was like oofta, but then watching just YouTube clips of the musical, I was like, this is so much better right away.
I don't hate this movie though. It's
Well,
bad.
I hate the movie because I feel like it took a good thing and then like ruined the musical.
I have my doubts about the musical.
I like
but
the
Like a rum tum
oh,
tugger.
oof, what's
Right?
that? Ooh.
The rum tum tugger.
Look at him.
Tugger
Come
is
on.
a
Here is
curious
Can you
cat.
imagine that? Oh man, they're using their tails. That's so much
Damn,
better.
dog, what's up?
This is sexy
Whoa,
stuff.
what's
Just
happening?
dead
right now?
air as we watch that video.
But I just feel like, okay, so the one thing is whenever I've seen musicals, which I haven't seen that many, but when I have, it is like amazing to see someone live right at that moment
Yes.
on stage and they're singing like way better than anyone you've ever heard in a movie or on the radio.
That's true. Yeah.
And they're just standing there like doing shit and singing and you're like, this is insane. I
And
didn't
you're
know
just
this was
blown away.
I can't believe it. And they're dancing and everything. And they're doing these amazing performances. And I feel like the movie just took that away because it was like, we're going to
Yeah.
record and do the orchestra stupid and not like everything was bad.
Well,
but the musical in person from far away, you're like, the makeup is big for a reason because you're like everything has a
Right,
purpose.
right.
And this was just bad. I
so
don't know.
I did a little bit of YouTube research, as I
Yes.
tend to do.
I consider
um,
myself an expert now, right?
Pretty much
Right
an
now,
expert.
I'm an expert.
Yeah.
I watched
But-
a 30-minute YouTube video and I'm prepared for my
I
thesis.
now know how Broadway works.
Exactly. But
Same here.
It's-
I'm gonna do the same.
There-
So don't worry.
yeah, exactly. But there's like two things that kind of like ruin the music of the movie because I feel like the CGI is like bad. There's no
Oof.
doubt about that.
Undeniably.
Yeah.
But you kind of
Real
get
bad.
used to it after a little while,
It's-
and you're like,
no,
all right,
it's
whatever.
still bad,
Like,
though.
fine, it's still bad. It's
Look at
weird.
it's
Jay
more-
Hudson
it's
up there in
more-
the chandelier.
It's more the cat design than anything.
I just wish they had
I-
costumes on.
Well, I saw where someone
Yeah.
was like, "What if they just put the makeup like you have on the nose?"
Makeup and costumes.
and it was like better by 200%
Oh, this
already.
is one of those things where somebody could like deep fake some
Oh,
makeup
like, right
on,
away, just do this, and, I'm
it
good.
would be like
Boom.
it would be
100 times
so much better.
I don't know why it's a total person face,
Yeah,
cat body, but then it wasn't
Hands?
even this. It was like legit hands.
they're just hands
and
with
feet.
rings on, as we
Yeah.
saw with old D. Yeah,
Right, they're like, "Don't take your watches or rings off. Just we're gonna do
yeah,
this."
that's fine. Well, no,
It's so
you're married
messed
now.
up.
But like the whole thing with so the Cats and Les Miserables, which the same director
I'll be
made
right back.
before, right?
Yes.
Is
yes.
is that okay? We're gonna record live, so the singing is gonna happen on set, and
That seems
the
like a
thing
mistake.
is the crazy thing about that is like normally you do rehearsal, right? So the actor or the singer or whatever is like rehearsing with the orchestra. We're going to rehearse together. Here's my timing, here's your timing, here's how it all works. You guys stay on time, and here's where I'll mess with the time, and you can tell that I'm messing with it because you guys are staying on the beat, and we're doing all this. And with like Les Mis and with this is they had on set the people sing, and then they did the orchestration later, and they had actors sing, not singers, right? So
What?
they're like they're in their ears hearing like a piano player
Right.
like trying to keep up with them the whole time or whatever, so they know like the generally the music, and they just kind of like act it out, and then the orchestra has
blows
to
my
come in
mind.
later and be like, none of this is on beat, none of this is on in tone or whatever, and we just have to kind of like keep up with it.
Yeah.
And it ends up sounding weird. So I don't know the like exact term for when a soloist messes with the time signature, right? So if you're doing a concerto, or if you're singing or whatever, a soloist out front, like a lot of times the backup orchestra, they stay on the beat, and then you can kind of like play.
Right. You go back and
With-
forth a little bit if you want to.
And
Yeah.
and there's a like a definitely even in like Memory with Jennifer Hudson, there's a point where like she extends a note, and so does the orchestra, and it totally steals the like
Huh.
weight of her doing that.
Well, the
And-
authenticity of it, right? If she's
Yeah,
going to go
it's-
for it, you know, she's particularly her, who's probably the most talented singer in this movie.
In the movie for sure.
Yeah, right? Like, let her have it. You know, she knows what's up. She knows
Yep.
timing. She knows, yeah.
And
Crazy.
and that's the whole thing is like, and if you watch the like we're kind of goofing around watching the videos from the musical, but if you actually watch it, the people who are singing and the people who are dancing are different people, right?
Is that right?
Like-
okay.
It's not like I'm jumping around doing cartwheels and trying to sing at the same time. Like
I mean,
it is like,
only Miss
this-
Britney Spears can do that, folks.
yeah, right. Or like Lady Gaga, who like sings and runs on a treadmill to train, being able to dance and sing at the same
Which
time.
is bonkers. Yeah.
But you know, and the other thing is I was watching a video about Les Miserables and why that sounds so bad. You know, like vocalists will rest and be like save their voice for it's show night, and boom, I hit it.
Right,
Like
right.
I've done everything I had for this moment. But they treated these movies like movies. They did takes like all day.
Right,
They would do takes,
right.
and they'd have to sing over and over and over again. And you can hear it.
Huh.
Like people's voices are worn out. They sound like garbage. And this Cats is not as bad as the Les Miserables, but like
Really?
still,
Didn't it win a bunch of awards?
it did. And I don't mean as bad. I mean as in the singing, as like you can hear people's voices worn out.
But it was also like
But
the
that also
main-
fits the setting, right? In Les
Yeah.
Mis,
right.
a
But
little
like,
bit,
Victoria's like a ballet dancer.
right?
I mean, yeah, she can sing, but not Broadway performance
Not
sing.
like a voice.
and then they
performer.
didn't
Yeah.
use her talents. You get one or two maybe things where she like
get
does a
some
crazy
And
thing,
it's great
but
when
it's-
she does it, but
and
I
it's
wanted
fun.
like
more.
it's over in a second. There's
Yeah.
very little like choreography here. Maybe there's too
Yeah,
many
there
jump
isn't
cuts.
much.
I
There is
think I
There's
some,
wanted
something-
like,
less
little
acting.
things.
I wanted less acting and like just play it straight.
Well,
Like,
yeah, right.
Stop
It's
screwing
it,
around.
It fails as a movie and it fails as a musical because it doesn't really commit to either.
It's not same for like the costumes. Pick
Yeah.
one. Are you
Yep.
doing the full-on cat costume like the musical?
Are they
or
actually
are you trying
cats?
to make real cats? Because then
Right.
you make the fate. Like you have to pick one. You can't
Yeah, I
do
guess
half
Right.
and half.
it's easier to suspend disbelief in the musical because the costumes are outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yeah.
know that right
On
away.
purpose.
Yeah.
You know that. You can
Look at us
see
right
it.
now.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy,
Like-
but
Old D. I don't know who I was going for. Maybe old Rumpelstiltskin? What was his? Rumpeltugger?
Asparagus, Gus.
Gus.
no,
I liked
he had
Gus.
the good like
Yeah, he had the man. He had the
Gandalf?
the
He's
shape
got,
was
like,
right.
the- yeah.
It's a
Cat Gandalf?
diamond. It's supposed to go way
I
out.
saw old D
right?
upstairs sleeping in our chair.
Oh man. Oh,
I-
do
I-
the
and that's the, like-
Ronnie.
This is this a 0 out of 10?
No.
No.
But the thing is, the only thing that saves it is the music from the musical. It's not.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, and they
That's
didn't do the
it.
music justice, and that's
No.
what kills it. Like everybody,
I
if
like
you,
some of these.
I
mean,
do,
I'm-
I
Yeah,
I'm
do.
but
listening
I
to
feel
shit
like
today.
if I heard, I feel like if I saw the actual musical, I'd be so disappointed
Probably.
then.
Yeah.
I gotta watch. What is it? Skimbleshanks?
Yeah. The Railway Cat.
His tap dancing down the
The
railroad.
cat of the rail. I
Mhm.
think there's a line in that song where they say Skimbleshanks, the railway cat, the cat of the railway, and it's like, wow, really digging deep on those lyrics.
It's just like when
The
they're like
lyrics in the
Jellicle
whole-
cats or like.
yeah, a jellicle.
It's a
is
musical.
stands for
Right.
Jellicle Cat. It's weird. The whole thing
It
is
is.
a
weird.
lot. It is weird.
I
but
just don't know that
I
it should
could
be
accept.
a movie.
I could accept the weird as a musical. Accepting it as a movie is weirder.
I'm so glad to hear, Ken, that you feel exactly the same as me. That you're like, I don't know how to feel about this. It's just, it's
Well, there-
very polarizing.
There is a 1983 movie of the Broadway play that you can watch, but
Okay.
that's lame because they added effects.
But it's.
I watched part of it,
oh.
and like,
Mm.
so Mr. Mistopheles is like literally shooting lightning from his hands and shit, and it's like, well, no, you went the wrong way here as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know how you get. Ooh, that's,
Ryan asks us here for an official
Oh,
date
we
night
do
dice
that.
D-list rating system.
We did
the
talk
rating.
about rating our favorite cats. Are we prepared?
Ooh, we should do that because
didn't
my
bring a
rating for
list.
this movie is: should you watch? The question is always, should you watch it? And it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you
I don't
should.
know if you should watch.
I think
this.
you should watch this movie.
The thing is, it's so weird, but
have
I
to get over the
I-
hump of the first
You do
25 minutes.
30 minutes. You
Yeah.
got to get past. Let me think. First 4 songs.
Yeah.
It just gets better from
But
there.
the thing is,
It
I
does
like
get better.
the songs. I like some of the characters. I just hate the way they portrayed them.
Yeah.
So like, I just
fair.
essentially want to go see Cats the musical.
If you can, you got to
That
get
could be
past.
a puppy doggy.
What were the two thieves?
Rumpelstiltskin and Megatron.
Yeah, Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser.
That
You get
song-
past there, and it'll get
They're like
better.
Rumple Teaser. They're very like
and
yikes.
Mega Dose. Like that song in particular takes a lot of air out of the movie. Like
Yeah,
it really
it's-
kind of
ugh.
slows it down a lot. But
All right.
I mean, I guess it's because it's a musical. Tonally, it's all over the place. But that's because it's a musical and it's supposed to
It's
be
very
like
hard to like, because once again, if any musicals I've ever seen on stage I saw in a movie, I probably wouldn't like it. So
right. Yeah, you never would.
I don't know.
Who was the?
But you're never gonna see Cats now. So I guess
that's
watch
the thing.
this.
So I guess watch it, but
This,
it's
I
very
mean, this
like
is what you get.
it just makes me sad I didn't see it.
Yeah.
What are the top 2 cats?
Top 2
Uh,
cat? Are we talking
well-
about
Top 2
in
cats.
general or nominations for the what's it called, Heaviside Layer?
Oh, the Heaviside Layer, the Jellicle
no,
Choice.
We know who the Jellicle Choice
No,
is.
because
So we
it
can't do
was
that.
what's her
The
name?
Jellicle
let's
choice
see,
is-
Top
we
2
all agree.
cats.
Jennifer Hudson is not allowed to be chosen as a top 2
Right,
cat.
'cause she's
she
the-
got chosen as the Jellicle Choice, so that's
Right.
off the list.
Well, I like
What's the
Rum
date
Tum
night choice?
Tugger, but I don't like that Jason. What's his?
I don't
name
like
was
the
him.
movie Rum Tum Tugger.
No.
I like the musical
I like
Rum
the
Tum
musical.
Tugger.
I like Rum Tum Tugger on paper. He
Right.
does
Yeah.
not.
Yes.
In this movie, it's bad.
I also like
I-
Buster
I was
Jones
gonna
just
say
because of his
Buster
name.
Jones.
Yeah, well, that's
you
a different
like
story.
Magic Mike though too.
Magic or
didn't
Mr.
like
Mistopheles?
Magic
I don't
Mike.
know. It's kind of
I
weird.
didn't like him.
I feel
He's-
like you sang him all day.
Sure, but that doesn't mean I
because
like
it's
him.
easy to sing, right? It's super slow and
sorry.
there's
What
no
about
words.
T
to-
Swift?
No,
That's a pass for me.
I will say she was good, but like her cat didn't have character.
She doesn't do
really.
Yeah.
anything. She's in and
She
out, right?
sings
She
and
was on
that's it,
set
yeah.
for 2 days, and
I don't know, guys. I don't
Also,
know.
I feel like she probably honestly did it in one take. Like she's
well, right?
That's
She
her
has the
normal
talent to just
concert.
like,
That's her
yeah, I'll just
job,
lay
right?
in this moon and sing, and
yeah, she was like, this is a normal concert, so probably took her no time.
I'm gonna go with.
I feel like I like
Gosh,
Rum
I don't know.
Tum Tugger because I saw the musical version. I like that. It's
mean,
like
I do
Prince
like the musical
married
version.
You
David
like the
Bowie.
David Bowie version of Rum Tum
Yeah.
Tugger?
But like with a
Very
little Prince
David Bowie.
attitude, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that.
Rum Tum Tugger
He's
it
my
is.
fave. But also,
Number 2?
he didn't try to be like
He wasn't trying to get
necessarily
in
the one to be picked, which I also like compared to the ones that are like, watch this performance, and you're like, okay,
Mhm.
bud.
I'm
Is
gonna
there
go with Gus, I guess.
Oh, Gus was good too, though.
asparagus?
He was like so excited to do the performance.
And it was a night, but it had a flow to it where it was really slow in the beginning, and you're like, oh my god, how long is this gonna take?
That's true.
And he kind
Sort
of
of like
works
builds and
into it.
builds.
And it had structure to it, whereas like the Mr. Mistopheles song, it restarts 4 times.
Ugh.
It's super annoying.
And he kept being like, I suck. And
Oh,
everyone's
I'm-
like,
I'm
should we
not a
start
bad
him back up?
I'm a bad magician, cat.
Which also, okay, so during the whole movie,
Also
Victoria
magic.
and Munstrap, what's that
Munkastrap.
one?
Monkastrap?
Sure.
that guy,
they kept,
why doesn't
like-
that guy have a song?
But they kept
Yeah, he
like
needs a
kind of like
song.
weaving and doing weird shit. And then all of a sudden she was best friends with the
Mistopheles.
magic guy. And I was like, well, hold
Stop.
up.
Yeah.
Weren't you
Yeah.
like nuzzling what's his name a second ago? It was weird.
I mean, I guess cats nuzzle lots of
They
people.
nuzzle.
I
The
don't know.
touch.
It was weird.
It was weird.
Ryan wants a cheese rating system here. 10 Havarti. Get out of here. 10 is
Two.
that
Oh.
wine cheese. What was that?
Yeah, no, that's how far it would
burgundy
be like a
cheese?
sharp cheddar.
I thought he was. I didn't read it. I thought he was saying Kraft Singles was 10. I was like, whoa, dog.
How's a Kraft
Whoa.
single better than Limburger?
It's a
Yeah.
two.
Kraft single is.
Kraft single
Grilled
like
cheese.
0.
Grilled
Well,
cheese. That's why.
That's true. You
But you
gotta
have to
have,
have good bread.
gotta have a Kraft single on a.
I don't know. This is tricky because the music I enjoy, but I also enjoy the musical better. So I don't.
I'm gonna say watch it. I say watch it
Yeah.
because you're not gonna see the
it's
musical.
funny if anything.
If it is, it's not painful, right? We just can't. It's great that we
No.
did this after downsizing.
Oh,
Downsizing.
what a refreshing
my
experience.
head hurt. I was mad. Like there was
Yes.
like I was furious. This is like whatever. That was dumb.
Yeah,
know.
this was way easier. I even said after this, I was like, okay, we need to get back into like some like weird sci-fi's because I
goofy
just
shit.
need some. Yeah,
This
I need
was
some
this was
regular.
we dipped our
goofy
toes
shit.
in the goofy stuff. Let's keep this ball rolling. This was a
Yeah.
good time
Yeah,
because downsizing was blah.
too much.
This was better than lots that we've watched.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
You can get a little
Trying to think of
musical
some
fun out of
other.
it.
Was it better than Jupiter Ascending? I always
think
go
so.
back to
Yeah.
that, but I think it
I
was.
had way more fun watching
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
What about Battleship?
yeah.
Battleship.
I
was
like
kind
this
of-
Battleship
more.
was just- yeah, I,
I
think
liked
so.
it more. Battleship was also so bad though that you were like, "What the fuck?" Are
Battleship
they
Well,
doing?
that
was
was
just so
it was
meh.
weird.
It was just nothing.
It was
just,
very generic and
That was
gray
very
and
nothing. Like nothing
It was
really
like,
happened.
it was forgettable. It was forgettable.
was very
Cats
the-
is not forgettable,
no.
Well,
No.
the
but
thing
you'll
is,
question whether you
they
liked it or
got
not.
good music for. I mean, it's because it is the musical. It's like a hit.
The big guy, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I'm just so disappointed in what they. I don't know. Like you've
Yeah,
seen, we
LW.
saw Wicked. If you saw Wicked in a movie, wouldn't you be like, "What?"
Yeah, I don't want to watch.
Oh, of
Wicked the
course,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch Hamilton the movie either. But I love the music from Hamilton.
Exactly. So that's why at least you have the music in this, no matter what. So
All right, guys, let's wrap this up. I think
Okay.
that concludes our D-list breakdown of 2019's Cats. Join us in 2 weeks for our next normal episode of the Date Night Dice podcast. And the following Thursday, we will do another D-list breakdown. We haven't picked the movie yet,
No,
but
we
we'll
haven't.
let you know.
I want to hear
as
some
soon as we find out.
suggestions. I want to hear
Yeah.
some suggestions.
now,
'cause somebody
for
said
suggestions, though, it can't
Yeah.
be like crazy bad movies. These are
Right.
movies that were like they were trying
gotta ride
to
the
be good,
line. Yeah.
but then like they bombed in
Typically
the box
big
office.
budget or bigger
Yeah.
budget, and it's bad. We're not like, low
There's
budget,
plenty of
actual
bad
bad.
movies.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
Waterworld.
Waterworld. See, that's
I'm
that-
with you.
I
right,
bet
yeah.
if we
Waterworld's
watched
a
that,
good.
yeah.
a
I'm
good
ready
one.
to review it right now.
Or the
Maybe we just
Postman.
roll
Let's
right
just do
into
a
it.
whole.
A couple
what's
people
his name?
suggested something last
Who's
week
that?
that we wrote down that was really good. I
Kevin
don't remember what it
Costner?
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do the Kevin Costner parade. We'll do.
He's done a lot of good stuff.
But
Dances
see,
with
that's
Wolves.
that's a good one. But yeah, we don't
What's
want
that?
like
Mr.
zombies,
Brooks? That's a great
snowmen, like
movie.
stuff like that. Is like, yeah, of course it's gonna be bad if it's like,
Right. Trying to
not
think.
that. These are
Well,
ones
we've
that
got-
like they expected to be good and they bombed. That's what we're looking for.
So if you're listening to the audio, hit us up on Instagram or go to send an email to benmdatenightdice@gmail.com. And anything else, we live stream the D list. If you're listening to this, tune in on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, whatever you like, Date Night Dice. You can also watch the video versions of these on YouTube. Go to YouTube and search Date Night Dice. Otherwise, I think that does it for our breakdown of Cats. And until next time, from here at the Date Night Dice Studios.
Are we gonna do? Ugh, gross.
From the Jellicle Studios with
Ugh.
Jellicle host and
Jellicle
Jellicle
The
Cats.
cats.
for
Jellicle host
Jellicle
and the
cats.
Jellicle night. We're gonna have a Jellicle goodbye.
Just
Okay,
go listen
sorry.
to that song. Go search Jellicle
Yeah, go
Cats on
search that.
YouTube and try and parse it. Try and figure it out.